click the go live, and I think, gentlemen, I could be wrong.
My mind
Live.
is freaking blown right now.
Your mind is blown.
His mind's
Yes.
blown. He won't even be able to
I
talk.
need a second to. I need a second to just like collect my thoughts on what just happened. What I just experienced.
Well, AJ, how about this? While you collect your thoughts, how about I cue the cat?
Cue the
Good
cat.
call. Yeah.
Because I want to say what's up to Robbie B, the English game cat. The villain has cookies. Don't accept cookies from the villain, you guys. Glacius Dreams.
I'll eat the village cookies.
He says, do I have to? Robert Sullivan,
I hope they're
AP,
poison.
hello. Preston Kohler. Just Incredible VR. Bobby Joe, what's up, my dude? I salute you back. Meow meow, the gamer cat. It's Squadrons night, baby. Oh, you have no idea. 12-toe game dog. Hibsy, the game cat, our local news gooper. Berber cat. General Obi Rai Catnobi. Ooh, I like it.
Did you call Hibsy a goober?
No, I said news scooper.
Oh, news.
He's a
I
goober.
thought he was our new goober. I know what's happening over there. Goober.
Woody the
What happened to
Booper.
our old goober?
I don't
Mott
know.
22, the game cat. Wonder Rob in the house tonight. So is Kyle, PSVR. We're gaming. And my dude, just incredible. Delirium Drew VR. What up, homie? Silent Evil 999. Rody the game cat. What is up, man? Trusty Mods in the house. Taking care of business. Roy Schwartz. Secrets of Seymour Game Cats, Steve IRE, Colt 45, Rainman 88. Get ready for tonight indeed. Gyson, fist bump to you. TJ Silverlake, LJ, the RE7 Game Cat, soon to be known as the RE8 Game Cat. Sierra and Dodro, Blaze 2000, JK Game Cat, Wink Rogers. So many of you in the house tonight. Hack, what is up, man? It is lit in here.
We must be on camera because he's
Woo.
totally lip syncing you,
Yeah,
and it's
I'm lip
incredible.
syncing. I thought if no one was paying attention, they might think that I had your voice. This is PSVR Gamescast Live. We film live every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, and we bring it to you live. Holy crap! How is it Thursday already? I swear to you, it was just Monday,
Oh, man.
like a few
Too many
days ago.
games. It's too many games. That's fucking why.
That is
There's too many
correct.
games.
So many games.
The time flies.
So much to do. My name is Brian Paul from PSVR Without Parole, this channel right here that you're watching. And the gentleman to my right, the boys, Dave from Dave Station but VR.
Oh, hello. This is going to be a big one. It's going to be jam-packed with all kinds of fun discussions.
So
And I
strap in.
cannot wait. Strap in, strap on, do whatever you need to do.
And that guy on the far right hand side of the screen is AJ from the Underground, PSVR Underground.
Brian,
Hey.
you know what month it is.
It's Spooky Month. I love
October.
it. I love Scary Game Month. I love Scary Movie Month.
Ah,
Love
It
it.
is our time. Our
It
time.
appears
Of course,
to be October.
we're kicking things off with something other than something scary, but equally amazing, I must say.
That's right.
What's that, AJ?
Are you just gonna leave
This
everyone
show
in
is
suspense
already
while, like,
all over the fucking place.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
That's what
Yeah.
like we started like 4 minutes late. We're gonna end 40 minutes late. It's I mean, you know.
Probably, yeah.
What do you guys think? Should we go like really dark and spooky tonight?
I can go dark. AJ, you can't control your lights, so you're the odd man out here, but you can be the bright light shining in the center. We'll go dark here.
Excellent.
How's that?
Excellent.
Go
A little bit of
red, too.
housekeeping while we
Red?
get this thing to. Ooh, I like red. That's scary. And I like
Red's
it.
cool, right?
Yeah, it's like you're putting a haunted house together over there. A little housekeeping to get out of the way. Make sure you join our Discord. Our Discord is where this conversation happens 24/7, and that link is in the description below. I'm sure some of our mods will be posting it throughout the course of the show. And yeah, and that's it, man. That's it. That's all the
In
housekeeping.
fact, Rody just posted it.
Oh,
Well, like right before you said that. Good work, Rody.
then by all means, Rhodey is psychic. And I want to give a shout out while we're getting this show started to the very first tip of the day, I believe, Ori Stewart with the Canadian $10 donation. He says, "Did you find your HOTUS?" The answer is no. But I didn't look for it that hard
Oh.
after this morning. I like swear to you, I couldn't find it for an hour. And finally I was like, I just have to get ready and like stream Squadrons. Like just have to do this.
Well,
Period.
so, I mean, real quick, AJ, you said you tried with the HOTUS and it felt funky, right? Like it's not patched in yet?
Um,
Because
I
you
don't-
switched back to DS4. I saw your stream. You were like, I mean, we can talk about it later, but
yeah,
But
yeah.
wait. What's just? Can you answer that question? Because I'm really curious.
it does work off the fly. For the
So,
version
like,
that but it
properly
doesn't.
implemented.
Yeah, but it didn't seem like it was properly done. But
Mhm.
we'll get into it. Yeah, it's
Okay.
but I obviously it will be at some point because there's some really cool features to talk about.
Oh, for
Excellent.
sure. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, you know what, guys? There's a lot to talk about, and I can't wait to get to Squadrons talk. So we should probably just get everything else out of the way now and start the show the way we begin every show with a little game of should we or shouldn't we, when we put 60 seconds up on the clock up on the counter, the Lord Jeremy likes it, and it's our time down here to tell you out there, the loyal game cats, whether you should or shouldn't be watching and or playing and or doing the things that we've been watching and or playing and or doing. Thank you, Nick Mulo, for the coffee thermos. You can tell I've been using it. I'm so caffeinated right now.
I can tell you're caffeinated.
You know what's great about
That's
this, and why Nick is such an amazing person, and he like put a lot of thought into this, because I always talk about how I can't have coffee near me when I'm streaming because Tornado would just run over and knock it over. This thing seals, and then the straw creates a seal when you put it in. It's like even if it knocks
so she
over,
can't even. Oh, perfect! Wow, incredible.
that's
Guys,
right.
real quick,
Yes.
before we do should we or shouldn't we?
Thank you.
I think we should talk about these 3 tips that we just received. First up, Wink Rogers, the game cat, with the 2 pounds. I'm just gonna say pounds or euros and guess, and not even.
You're
go
right.
back to it.
You had it.
There we go. Okay, now I know. 3 happy faces makes my day. Yeah, we're pretty happy about this week.
Thank you very much, and nice to see you, Wink.
Not everything.
I'm very happy. I'm very happy.
And then Ori Stewart again with Canadian $5 says Tornado sold it on Kijiji.
I don't know what
that means.
Kijiji is, but I'm assuming it's an online marketplace, and that is hilarious that Tornado would sell my stuff online. This place is getting cleaner. No, she's just removing items from the apartment.
We've also got Andrew Bailey with the £5 donation. Says midnight here in the UK in 50 minutes. So forgive me if I disappear.
Given in advance, for sure.
You know why? I absolutely know. You get a hall pass tonight. Anybody in the UK gets a hall pass in 50 minutes. Don't worry.
And if you live in Australia, you shouldn't even be watching this. You should be playing Squadrons. Just go play Squadrons if you live in Australia. Get out of here.
Absolutely.
Come back and watch it later.
Totally got it. Robbie B, the English game cat, with the 2. Now, Dave, you really screwed me up on this. The 2 big donation saying, no, it's not, saying gutted Squadrons is awful. Loving Onslaught, though. Yeah, that's
seems legit.
The hottest take of the day.
Things that make you go.
Also, Professor Lilith with the $3 donation saying too much new VR content in too little time. That is always the problem, isn't it?
I literally get home after work and have been playing VR until I go to sleep, and I still haven't like beaten every game that's come out yet.
Oh no, yeah,
so far away from it. And of course, Bell Ramey of the Game Cat, our faithful moderator, with the €10 donation.
10 euros. I got it. Yeah, euros.
Yes, no, you did. Sorry, he said sorry, I'm late, but also it's late and I have to get up early, so most likely won't stay. See no evil, monkey. Yes.
I want to go first on should we, shouldn't we?
Okay.
Good, because I have no plan yet.
That's perfect.
So do that.
I'm going to go on your mark. Get Des. Go.
So it is October. It is the month, the only month that matters all year long. This is our month, and I have a game recommendation. This is absolutely a should we, and it's a little game called HeroCade. But it's $15 in the US, and there is a there is a game within HeroCade called Dread Halls, and it is quite possibly one of the scariest games ever. And you just run for your life, and there's a bunch of stuff trying to kill you, and it's down a bunch of spooky corridors. This game has brilliant sound design. If you need a scary game, I cannot recommend Dread Halls enough. I'll be streaming it along with a bunch of horror games this month, as I'm sure these fellows and some of the game cats will as well. And it's going to be amazing. We're going to have so much fun. Get HeroCade. Play Dread for Dread Halls alone. Don't play anything else. And enjoy the nightmare.
Oh, I don't even know when your time is up. 3, 2, 1.
Good week.
Excellent. Nice. Dave, do you have one ready, or do you want me to go? Because I'm ready if you need me to be. I can't hear you.
You're muted, Dave.
Well, that 60 seconds felt like it went by very quickly, and I don't have one yet. So keep going, and I'll think of something.
Get Des, go. So you guys know horror movie time, horror movie everything. I've been just watching anything I can find on Amazon Prime, Hulu, Netflix. It doesn't matter if it's good, if it's bad, if it's horror, I'm gonna watch it. And I will tell you what I watched, and it was called Bedeviled. It was called Bedeviled from 2016, about an app that everyone gets on their phone, and it basically gets to know them. It's like a Siri type thing, but then it kills them. Spoilers. It's like ridiculous and over the top, but there was a lot of it that I liked. I mean, I'm not advocating that you go out and pay for this movie, but if you find it on a streaming service where it's free, I think I saw it on Amazon Prime. It's one of those things where it's just like it's a good time, even if it's not that great of a movie. But yeah, I had fun with it. There was some creepy moments, and I actually was like, there were a few points where I was like, oh wow, the editing is really good in this, and I have to say that about something because both It movies, horrible editing. So that's all I can say. I've never said a movie had good editing until I watched this and compared it to the two It movies that are out. So I had to say that. And Dave, you are up.
Okay.
On your mark.
I'm just gonna.
Scary game. Scary game.
You want a scary game?
Game.
Scary game, huh?
Yeah. On your mark, it does go.
I can't think of a scary game off the top of my head, but if you haven't bought The Persistence, this is a great time to buy The Persistence. That just popped into my head, but great game, real spooky, very Halloween-y, dark, scary, sound design. Ugh. What's behind the corner? Who knows? It's all dark. Things are very intense, and I think that you'll quite enjoy it. Fire Sprite Games, it's been out forever. I think everybody in here probably already owns it, but if you don't, it might be on sale one day soon. It was probably just on sale. Pick it up. The Persistence is a very good Halloween-y, spooky game that you can play for hours and hours and hours because it's a roguelike. Every time you play is different. Similar to a game we'll discuss this week, Until You Fall. But how much time do I have left?
13
just buy
seconds,
it. 10, 9.
Let me help you out here. It's similar to System Shock 2 in VR. Like anyone that likes System Shock 2 like I do, as much as I do, it's like System Shock 2, but updated in VR.
Let me help you pass the time. That is good. There's some teamwork going on there. Excellent. Somebody's saying I'm really quiet. Is that true?
I don't know. I mean, we might be loud. People say we're loud a lot of the time. Bump yourself up.
Yeah, I'll bump myself up. Let me know if it's an issue. Oops. There's an advertisement I had to get rid of. Check 1, check 2. Oh, that's way too loud. Check 1, check 2. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Let me know if that's all right, guys. Want to make sure we give a shout out to a few more tips that came through. Glacius Streams with a $2.50 donation, saying 1 taco donation.
Ooh, perfect. We'll split it between the three of us.
Is soft taco or crunchy taco? What's the verdict here?
It depends on where you order from and like if you're eating in or getting it delivered.
Always soft. I don't have.
If it's Taco Bell, a chicken soft taco.
Ooh, chicken.
Soft
I like
taco
it.
from Taco Bell, really? Okay.
Yeah, we need another $1 for that though. Those things are way more expensive. And then we have Slayerful, X-Slayerful, with the Canadian $5 saying, "Until You Fall is game of the month. Changed my mind. We might change your mind over the next 17 hours." That's how long the show's going to be. Then we got Nihilist Ryan, the Game Feline, with a $5 donation saying, "Too many games is a great problem to have." Heart. And heart right back to you, Nihilist Ryan, the Game Feline. Thank you so much for the donations, everybody. I think that was the bottom of them. That's it. Oh, Genetic Blasphemy goes, "Now you're louder than everybody." Well, I mean, I'm so sorry. What can I tell you? It's like
Bingo hall speaker loud.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't. All right, and Acefield, the Attack Cat, the $3 donation says, "Happy birthday, Brian." Thank you very much. Happy birthday to you whenever your birthday is. Let's just do that in advance. Rody, the Game Cat, with a $10 donation saying, "So with all the releases and the awesome sale 2 weeks ago, what do you think they're going to do for the anniversary sale?" That's an excellent question. I think AJ and I were just having that conversation. I have no idea. They kind of already blew their load.
I'm hoping horror games. I'm hoping like Persistence and all these horror games go on sale this month.
Ori Stewart with the $5 Canadian saying, "More tacos." We don't have to share one anymore. Now we can all get our own.
More tacos.
Sorry, AJ, you still can't get chicken. Too much. Dave will be back eventually, but I think we should probably get this ball rolling. What is Cameo? Scott Travis says I should be on Cameo. I don't know what that is. I'll research it later, and I probably won't do anything about it.
So, as always, we have a ton of news to go over. We've got some new Kickstarters to look at. We've got some updates on certain games that have already been released, but they're significant updates, really cool stuff. We also have a couple releases this month, and there are some games on sale as well. So, as always, we're going to start with anything PS5 related. To be honest with you, there wasn't a lot of PS5 news going on. We talked about how some games last week, we talked about games are going to be getting updates to run, or the system's going to be have a boost mode that'll maybe increase the frames per second on certain select PSVR titles. And yeah, you know, pre-orders are still going here and there. Next month, guys, we're going to be playing PS5s. Can you believe that?
Next fucking month. Wild. I can't even believe that.
Yes, next month we are going to all have PS5s. It's going to be nuts, and I can't wait. So with the PS5 out of the way, we have an update for a game that came out last October 9th, I believe it was. Spookies. Spookies is releasing its first DLC pack entitled Dollhouse. That creeps me out already.
That sounds creepy as shit. Yeah, I don't even want to go there. Man.
I don't mess with dolls, man. like you know, I've always felt like I'd kick Chucky's ass, but then I went into like that Resident Evil children's rooms when it's all dark and there's like little children laughing or crying or something, and there's little toys everywhere. It creeps me the hell out, man. Exorcist.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the chiller up and running here, but I think
so many tips that I'm going to cover real quick. So we've got. Did we already get the Happy Birthday, Brian? $2.99, I think we did.
Let's get those right after the Spookies.
Okay, sure, yeah. There's like so many of them, it's like overwhelming.
Well, okay, I'll take it. I'll keep track of it.
Yeah, this is. I think ever since Resident Evil 7. I mean, it's always been before Resident Evil 7, but Resident Evil 7 nailed it more than anyone else. It's like you walk in. There's like that almost haunted house section of the game where you walk in and there's like the ball bounces across the room. There's no real reason for it. Like it's not really a paranormal game, but it felt like a paranormal section of Resident Evil 7. You know, it's like the kids' room. There's the big stuffed alligator on the floor, and yeah, it's just. I mean, that really nailed it. And that was like
that was the scariest part in that game for me. Was the little children's room when you had to collect the little arm of the thing.
The D-series
that
arm, or
room
what it's called.
Absolutely terrified me. But Spookies, man, like, you know, this was a game that came out, and I honestly, Brian was super excited about it. He was like, "Oh my god, this game's coming to PSVR! I cannot wait."
Yeah, I used to watch streams on PC and be like, "Oh man." Like I want to play this, and then when I found out it was on PC VR, I was like, we could totally have this on PlayStation VR. So glad it finally came.
I honestly thought this game was kind of a joke at first. Like I was like, how is this scary? And once I played it, man, especially once you play like the hospital and a couple other parts in this game, the randomized mode is pretty brutal. This game is really fun regardless. You just run through 1,000 rooms. There is a boss fight at the end. Absolutely love this game. I did. So they did say that this update was, I believe, supposed to happen today, but I believe is now happening tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. I checked over Sheena. Is it Sheena Perez? Is that her name?
Right.
Yeah, and I guess she was sick, but only one delay, 1 day delay. That's, I mean, when does that ever happen? So very happy we're getting that.
Love about Spookies. AJ, you kind of mentioned it. It looks like it wouldn't be that scary.
Dave, are you?
But what's happening?
He sounds fine now, but he sounded like he was going through a portal a second ago.
Yeah.
You're good now. What did you say?
Testing.
You're good.
Yeah. What I was saying is, shit. I don't even remember.
Something about it doesn't look like
Spookies. So you said along the lines of like up front when you see this game, you might think that looks cartoony. That's not going to scare me, but everybody acts like a badass until they get their shit totally, completely. They scream at the top of their lungs over like a cardboard cutout of a cupcake that pops out of the wall. You know what I mean? Like you think it's not scary, but when it happens to you, it's not scary after all. So
it takes a while, but you get caught up in the moment, and yeah, and then suddenly a piece of ice cream with a smiley face jumps out at you and goes, yeah, and it makes you jump because you're not thinking about it, you're not expecting it.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, in this
cleverly designed game, very good game.
$10 game.
Have it yet?
And on top of it all, the this trailer looks fantastic. Like there was the Karamari Hospital, which was like sort of the Silent Hill-ish experience that you could play through in Spooky Jump Scare Mansion. And this, the Dollhouse, seems like it takes that idea, goes even further with it, and adds a ton of gameplay mechanics. I think there's a gun in this trailer. You're actually carrying around a doll. I mean, it seems like there's a lot more going on than in just Spookies proper. So I can't wait to see this.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm 90% sure I saw a gun in this trailer, but it's been a while since I watched it.
That is interesting.
It actually, yeah, this is the first time I've seen this trailer, and it looks fantastic. I love that grainy, like broken film look.
Yeah.
On a side note, Sheena Perez came down with possible COVID, and she's doing all right from what we hear. So just want to give a big shout out to you, Sheena. I hope you feel better soon. That's kind of part of the delay, but from what I hear, she's doing okay. She's a little sick, but she's doing okay. So still pumping out that content. Also, this game might release in EU this month. It wasn't.
Oh,
it's
God.
not in EU. It's only in NA, but it might release in EU around the time of this update as well.
You know what? Here's my retroactive should we or shouldn't we? And no, seriously, I'm going to make it real quick. But people were asking me like, oh my God, how are you playing Star Wars? I'm so jealous. I literally just pre-ordered it with my Australian account. Anyone in the world can do this. Just make another account.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's easy. It's so easy. Like
you
look it up
should
on YouTube.
Have a North American
like,
account.
If you're ever in a situation where you're bummed because like, oh, this game's not out in my region, who the fuck cares? Make a fake account in another region and buy it. You can do this. I have a Hong Kong account, a Japanese account, a Chinese account, an Australian account, a European. Like you can make as many as you want. It's not technically
I think I've got 7.
cool. Yeah, but just you guys can do this as easily as we can. So it's not like we're in some like special white tower playing all this shit early. A lot of time we just buy it from Australia. Like really, seriously.
Yeah, for sure. It can be a little complicated, and if you join our Discord, we'll definitely help you out about where to find gift cards to charge up that account, because you can't just use your PayPal account to like buy things on the Australian store, so it can get a little complicated. And actually, our go-to place, CGM, is now more difficult to buy from, and I don't use it anymore. And I actually found PC Supply, PC Game Supply or something like that.
I ended up using Off Gamers, which sounds bad to begin with. Off Gamers.
I used Games Codes or something like that, or Games Cards Codes maybe, and it seemed like totally like hole in the wall type website, and I was so happy with it that I would totally recommend them to anybody else. Guys, let me take care of a couple tips here before we move on to the next news story, if that's all right.
Every tip gets the color swirl. You get the color swirl.
What's the color swirl?
I'm just changing colors constantly.
Oh, okay. Background. That's cool. Did we get... Okay, so we're starting with Wonder Robs, I believe. 2 crunchy tacos and an enchilito? What the hell's an enchilito? And why does it cost $10? Thank you for the $10 donation, Wonder Rob.
Enchilito?
I've never heard of an enchilito.
Sounds like too much.
I feel like Taco Bell just makes up new food all the time. They're like...
They do. Is it
the same
gordita
ingredients?
Did they come up with gorditas themselves?
Probably not.
Or a chalupa must be their invention entirely.
They take monthly field trips to Mexico and see what the new hot food is.
It's an enchilada and a burrito mashup.
I don't even know what that fucking means, but continue.
All right, Aceville the Attack Cat with the $5 donation going, oh, that's weird. I thought we shared the same birthday. Swipe. Justin Prada and I share the same birthday. My dad and I share the same birthday. Aceville, if we share the same birthday, then you are in a very exclusive club known as Everybody. We also have Aaron Higgins with the $7.50 donation saying 3 tacos. Apparently, it's Taco Thursday.
It is Taco Thursday.
I'm definitely getting tacos tonight.
Actually, I really do. I might get tacos. We're talking about tacos. Yeah. I want tacos. Your Long Shadows with the 50 NOK. Did we figure out what those were? North Korean kroners? Yeah, North Korean kroners. Says Brian shares his birthday with Brie Larson. Happy birthday. I like Brie Larson. I don't know who that is.
I like her in Scott Pilgrim. I hate her in everything else.
She's Captain Marvel.
Yep.
Captain Marvel.
I'll cut up. Thank you for the birthday donation, Your Long Shadows. Really appreciate it. The Triangulator with a $25 donation saying, so many games, so many triangles. Pizza slices are triangles and some cat food shapes.
Cat triangles. I never thought about that.
That's right.
Blew my mind, Triangulator.
Cheers, and cheers right back to you. Thank you so much for the donation. I'm still scrolling down. Oh, geez. General Obi-Rai Kenobi. it's Rye Pops here. That's great. I said it wrong, too. It's Katnobi. Obi-Rai Katnobi with the $7 Canadian saying the only question we all want answered is, does Squadrons have the high ground? Does Squadrons have the high ground? Keep it up, gents. Everyone stay breathtaking.
Does have the high ground.
So far, yes, it does.
Yeah.
I can't wait to talk about Squadrons, man.
Can we just scrap everything else and just talk about Squadrons?
We'll get there. We'll get there. Listen, we got to keep people on the hook, right? Because if we talk about Squadrons now, then they're just going to tune out and go play it. Like some of these people are already tuning out to go play. Robbie B, the English Game Cat, with the $2 quid donation saying, Darth Taco. Heart taco.
Sure. Never had one of those.
And I think we're all cut up.
No, we're not at all. Not by
3 more.
We've also got
Scott Justico, PSN Harry Fella, the PSVR Game Cat for life with the £4.99 says, great Squadron stream earlier. Can't wait to play when I get home. May the Force be with all the game cats. Meow.
Meow.
I finally see these.
And
I
now
didn't
with
see
you.
them.
We've also got a big $20 coming in from Red Rover. Send Joe Grover right over the effing Game Cat. He says, "The White Tower. You are the PSVR 1%." Oh,
Wow.
and AJ, Dargons. He's also
Dargons.
say Dargons. And then Brian, you want to grab these North Korean kroners?
Sure. Oh crap! I got to scroll down. I was trying to be all silly.
Sure, I got it.
Your Long Shadows, North Korean kroners with 50 of them, saying Dave's clearly ignoring quarantine rules and throwing a party. Somebody called
That's
the cops.
right.
That's right. You look like a
That's
rave
right.
in your
Red,
apartment.
blue. I'm colorblind, so I don't even know what color that is.
Ooh.
It's going all over the place.
Genetic Blasphemy with a $5 donation saying, "Here's a single serving squeeze tube of liquid taco for your space traveling."
Gross.
Does anyone else
There's
just
a
throw up in
reason
their
they
mouth a
didn't
little
make
bit?
like Go-Gurt versions of tacos. Disgusting. Very bad.
Finally, the triangulator with the $4.99 donation says, "Don't let squadrons completely overshadow
We shall
until
not.
you fall." Oh,
That's
we
right.
will not.
That will never
A
happen.
Lot to talk about with Until You Fall as well.
All right. So what's our second?
What are we going to
We
talk
are
about?
now.
Oh,
I'm
God.
gonna skip the Kojima thing, and
Yeah.
Kojima said that
Parole.
VR is gonna have a next big couple years. Yeah, I think so too. Really cool statement from him. Hopefully, we get to see a game from Kojima. But Crisis Brigade 2 got an update. I think it was actually late last week, but we didn't get a chance to try it.
Are we on?
We should be back on.
Live?
We should
So
be back
Crisis Brigade 2, one of the things my buddy Livinator was talking with them recently, saying, for accessibility purposes and I think just gameplay wise, needed a crouch button. So they seems like they might have had issues with a crouch button. They ended up adding a riot shield. So now you can actually play the game without having to basically lay on the floor.
Oh, that sounds incredible.
Yes.
Oh my
you
God.
can play Crisis Brigade 2 without laying on the floor. Unfortunately, I still think the game needs like some balancing with like the enemies, because it's basically just like they just overpower you with weapons. But this does add a little bit of ability to maneuver and do stuff like lean left, lean right, guard yourself. It's nice. It is actually pretty refreshing.
That's a really interesting way to respond to the difficulty complaints, because everybody has always said Crisis Brigade is too goddamn hard, and like without a crouch button, people are just like, man, I have to lay on my floor to beat this game, like you said.
Yes.
So that is cool that they're actually not giving us exactly what we asked for, but like a different way to approximate that feeling in the game. I'm actually excited to check that out. I didn't know about that. That's cool.
I would say it is definitely improved. But do you guys agree with me that the game is like a little too much when it comes to like the way they just like
the way enemies fire at you is just like constant. Like there's not
it's blind firing, right? Too much blind firing that you have to do in this game.
To me, in these kind of classic light gun games, I love the style where there's a dude who's about to shoot you and you see a red circle around that guy.
Right. Right.
But in this one, anytime you lift your head up, there's just like 5 dudes
shot.
unloading their entire clip exactly where you are. And so if you pop up for a second, you could get shot in the head immediately, which is usually what happens. But interesting about the shield.
I don't
The
agree.
shield
No.
should be cool.
I think that Crisis Brigade games are perfect as is. I think that they're super difficult, and that I think it's one of those things where like you, after playing over and over and over again, like no one should expect to be at the first, second, third, or even the 10th time they play each level. You start getting accustomed to where different enemies could be. And so, I mean, when you peek out, you're not just peeking out to see where enemies are, you're peeking out to see if an enemy's here, or here. And also within the understanding that there's probably like 3 over here as well. And I just feel like it's one of those things that like the more you play, the better you get. And I think so many people get so frustrated the first 5 times they play a level and go, fuck this, I'm done. But then don't give it that chance because once you beat it, it's so rewarding, right? It's like old NES games. They have to make it difficult because there's not a lot there. And so, and I think that, you beat an NES game, you feel like fucking Superman.
Well, here's what I'll say though. Like in this genre, we all know Ghost Squad. We've talked about Ghost Squad a lot. I prefer making the gameplay extended or deeper by that sort of approach. Like not just making it balls hard like an old NES game, but taking that format and saying, okay, well, here's the reason to replay it, and here's how it could be harder. There's different, paths you can take through. There's different weapons you can load out with that you unlock as you go through. And there's some of that in Crisis Brigade for sure, in terms of the branching paths and the upgrades. I guess you can purchase weapons, but it doesn't feel as much like, I don't know. It's easy to see why people get turned off by the difficulty. So I think this is a good change. I'm with AJ on this one.
Oh no, I agree. This is a great
field.
change. I 100% agree. This is a great change. Because I think they're not going to give us a duck button. I don't know why they're so opposed to that. This is a great alternative. 100%. I agree.
Well, so who else needs to give us a duck button is budget cuts.
Oh yeah.
Because they told you there was a crouch button in that game.
No,
there's not.
Yeah. She said she's. I think we went through that last week, but we won't retread that conversation.
But the final thing I have to say about this before we move on to the next one is I just kind of prefer, even though I like Crisis Brigade 2 a lot, and the first one as well, I kind of prefer like dodging in VR. Like I love that mechanic about Pistol Whip and Super Hot. I love dodging, and to me, if it like gave you a little bit more time to look around or something or dodge, it would just add to it a little bit. But I'm, I think it's totally fine. I still think it's a great
listen. If we're gonna talk about what we prefer, then fucking give me Time Crisis 2, 3, or 4 in VR, right? Because that had
Squad.
Or Ghost Squad, because Time Crisis especially always had the best system in place for this kind of stuff. You'd go through and you wouldn't even finish the first scene, but you'd be kind of like building this XP bar, and every time like you met another level, they'd be like, oh, now as a bonus you've got an extra continue. Now as a bonus you've got 2 extra continues. Now as a bonus you've got an SMG. It's all these things to like make your next playthrough more fun, different, and easier. And so if we're gonna say what we prefer, then I mean by all means let's do that.
I hear you. All right. Yeah, I've always liked I've always stood by if you're going to rip off a game, rip it off just 100%.
Right.
Don't go 90%. That's how you end up with a PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
I knew you were going to say that. Yep.
Oh, yes. Okay, so next up, Tokyo Game Show was going on during this weekend, and they shed some light on one of the games we've been following very, very closely. That game is, where is LJ at? Resident Evil Village. Now they just went into some things about this game. Obviously, they haven't officially confirmed VR support, but Aesthetic Gamer, a very trusted source, has said that they were trying it out. But this was the most significant thing, besides the branching story paths, which is something. First of all, let's actually tackle that first. What do you guys think of branching story paths in Resident Evil Village?
Yes,
like
give
different
me
outcomes,
that.
different
I like
stories.
it. Yes, good.
I mean,
more reason to replay the game.
I mean, if I'm gonna play it 5 times anyway, I might as well see some different shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love Nier Automata. That game had like 26 endings.
True, I love that game too. But what do you think about? So they said that they are trying right now at this time to get this game working on PS4 as well. We thought this was going to be like maybe an original, just a PS5 exclusive game. But now they're saying that they are trying to get a PS4 version working. And do you think if they did, that would also include the VR support?
Man, it's tough. It's really tough because if they're talking about not being able to get it up to a certain frame rate on PS5, then the downgraded port. I'm wondering what's happening with the downgraded port for PS4. But of course, it's running in the RE engine, which Resident Evil 7 already used. So it's like, well, where's the problem here? Like, what's going on with the optimization? That they're having issues with this on PS5. So I'm worried about that. If they have to downgrade it and they're still having issues with optimization, and it's just sort of like they're still not sure if they're doing it seems like a last minute decision, then it seems like VR could just be like swept under the rug, be like, we brought it to PS4 and we didn't even have to do that kind of thing, so we're not going to go this extra step and get the VR optimized as well.
So the question
who knows?
This poses this makes me think about we don't know if there are going to be games that are VR supported on PS5 but not VR supported on PS4.
Right.
Because, for instance, Resident Evil Village is a great example of a cross-platform game where maybe on PS4 they cannot get it to run in VR,
right,
but on PS5 they can. And that introduces a new wrinkle that we haven't heard anything about from Sony in terms of a cross-platform game that might have VR, how does that work? Does it have to support the OG PS4 to have VR?
Oh God.
Or can you just like that would be terrible. But I hope that that's not their perspective on it. We'll see, I guess. Hopefully within the next month before we get our actual consoles in our house.
Yeah, it would be nice, man. Like I feel like Sony needs one more show to talk about UI, talk about VR, talk about all the little things that maybe not everyone's interested in, but they still need to clarify before launch.
Actually, dev kits are starting to go out. I think dev kits or consoles, PS5s have started to hit like
Travis Scott, the rapper, has a PS5. He posted on Instagram or something. He's like, I'm going to be playing till the sun comes up, and it was just a picture of him in leather jeans with a DualSense in his lap. And I was like, okay, I'm jealous, but
don't games have to come out for it first?
I'm sure that he's got games. They probably sent it to him with some games.
There you go. That probably makes sense.
Yeah, he's famous.
He's famous. I had no idea who he is, to be honest with you. But
he just got his own meal at McDonald's.
I want my own meal at McDonald's.
Scott meal. One day, Brian.
This
is
bullshit. I want my own meal at McDonald's, and it's going to have pizza in it. It's like they're going to have to get ovens and all sorts of weird shit. Yeah. Real quick, guys, I want to make sure we tackle Ori Stewart with the 10 Canadian donation saying, "My wife really liked Until You Fall. Can't wait to try Squadrons together tonight." Ooh, are we all playing? Awesome, are we playing Squadrons together tonight?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. This is gonna be a long night.
Happy right now. Yes. I'm so happy right now.
I'm not sleeping.
Oh my god. Okay, hold on. I know there's another one that I didn't get to. Oh no, that was it. Can you guys help me out? Make sure that was actually the last one because I missed the last time. There's no.
Scrolling up. I believe so. Yeah.
All right. Good.
So,
good.
That is correct.
Moving on. Budget Cuts. Perp Games sent out a tweet saying that Budget Cuts is now available on the Perp Games store, and it's an exclusive, limited physical edition for PlayStation VR, and it includes a physical game, a signed inlay from Neat Corp, a Budget Cuts T-shirt, and 2 employer certificates for pre-ordering. This is again from Perp Games over in the EU.
Perpgames.com.
It says only PEGI versions of the game will be made available. Does that mean it's only going to be available in the EU?
Yeah, but
Perp games are mostly EU releases. You gotta sometimes order them internationally for the most part.
Yeah, right. You can still.
Real quick shout out to Ray. I don't know if he watches this or whatever, but he was our guy at Perp for a long time, and he's moving on to other opportunities. So I don't even know who we talk to at Perp anymore, actually. But Ray, moving up.
Oh yeah, Ben. Tomorrow, I believe. Well, I mean, I guess today for some people out there, but as far as in the U.S. here, tomorrow is his last day at Perp. He's been absolutely amazing. He's always been there for me anytime I need anything. I've done a podcast with him. He interviewed me, which is like that's the only time I've ever been and probably ever will be interviewed. And he obviously was a presenter on last year's PSVR award show, so we do have a very good relationship with Ray Wilmot over there. And he's moving on to CodeSync. I think he said that on Twitter. Who was the co-developers, I believe, of the first Budget Cuts. So it all kind of goes together here.
Wraps in, yeah.
I cannot wait to jump back into this game. I've gotten I think halfway through the game, and I did on Saturday Night Live streams. I started out doing the arcade mode, and I was having such a blast. The graphics, the just tone of the game, everything. I'm really enjoying it. I'm very curious to finish this game and find out more because I really think that this is a really quality game so far.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm actually glad to hear you say that because I think we talked beforehand and you weren't particularly interested in it. You didn't think it seemed that exciting. And so to hear you say that you're having a good time with it is good.
It's very good so far. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is it's so polished, it's so clean, and the things that you would think would be a problem like teleportation and stuff like that. It's a mechanic and it's actually fun to shoot your teleport gun and look through the portal and stuff.
I really suck at throwing though.
Oh, you gotta get the ricochets. You gotta get those.
I'm really bad at throwing. Yeah,
I spent so much time.
Okay.
My aim with the knives are terrible.
Interesting.
Well, just go for body shots because that at least stuns them for a minute, and they're kind of wobbling, and you can just get them with a face shot after that. Good game.
Oh, holy crap! Holy crap! So guys, this is amazing, and like 3 people out there are going to care about this. But I think
What is this?
I accidentally so there's a problem with my mouse. My mouse is like totally broken, and the button double clicks sometimes when I only want to single click, and then doesn't click at other times, or clicks sometimes when I don't want it to. And so so it's broken, and so I accidentally moved my audio mixer in OBS, and it revealed something I've never seen before. Hold on a second. Look, I can scrub through the video that we're watching on the bottom of the screen. I've never had this option before. Either that or it's new in OBS. Look, I can scrub.
Care
Oh my
about
god,
that.
I'm so
And
excited.
2 of them aren't on this show. Just kidding. No, that's great. That's very exciting.
It's so random. I'm like, oh my god. It's like maybe.
Stop the presses.
This is a minor miracle in my world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And just to clarify, even if they are only making PEGI versions of budget cuts on at Perp, you can still order internationally. You just have to. There's ways. Just the website will direct you how to do it. You end up just emailing the lovely woman that works over there, and she will take care of you personally. And she's always very, very quick about it too. So Hakuna Matata.
Which, real quickly, OBS just updated, and somebody said maybe that's a new feature in OBS.
Maybe
Also,
that's it.
Speaking of updates, someone said, "What's the update with Onslaught?" So I'm gonna go check my patch notes on my PS4 right now to see what that is about, because I don't know.
Okay.
What that is.
It'll probably say added translation for Japanese and bug fixes.
Yep. Version 1.01. Yeah.
That's very happy for you, by the way.
Made it good. I mean, like, what would be the greatest patch note to see for Onslaught? It's like
Greatest patch note, multiplayer.
right. What are headshots? Added headshots. Version 1.01.
It's version 1.02 actually, and it's 185 megabyte download. It's almost done, so I'll tell you what the patch notes are.
I'm so excited. And who knew we were actually going to have more to say about Onslaught today?
Oh Jesus! Yeah. Is there more to say about it?
Yeah, but
we'll cover it a little bit. But for anyone who really wants a deep dive into that, check out our viewer takeover from earlier in the week when we basically focused only on the negative. We don't like to do that, but man, we honed in as a warning to let you guys know, be careful about this one.
The other thing is we have to respond to the questions that are posed to us, and if they seem like a negative-leaning question, we got to answer it anyways. So It was all about, and Brian and I both have reviews up on our channels. So,
and Dave, I still haven't watched
plenty
yours,
of opinions out there.
But
It's
overall,
okay.
overall, what was your final conclusion?
So I don't give scores, but what I said at the end was that for me, Survios is usually a 7.5 to 8.5 game development company. They're usually a reliable, like not the best games on the system, but pretty goddamn good games.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the first time for me that they've dipped into like a 6 territory. And that's kind of alarming, honestly.
Okay.
Because, you got these developers you trust, like after Rush of Blood, we inherently trusted Supermassive. We said that, Bravo Team's gonna kick ass. This looks awesome. This is our Time Crisis in VR. And then we played the damn thing, and you hear the kind of behind the scenes post-mortem, what happened, like how it ended up that way. But I just hope that Survios isn't leaning in that direction, because this game is not. It's the worst game they've ever made.
I've got Survios on the hot seat now.
It's not good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Actually, since we're talking about Onslaught, did you check the update on? Did you update on that? See what it says.
It's copying. It's at 21%. So I'll let you know in a second.
Cool. 2 seconds.
Oh, okay. See ya. There he is. Oh, he's got a box. Oh, this is his box of Onslaught stuff.
Oh yeah.
So
Cool,
Survios.
yeah.
Survios is a fucking cool ass company. Even if they made a mistake, they still sent me a box, and I have no idea what it was. When I'm not expecting things, I get nervous. But then I saw on the outside, it's backwards
Walking Dead
because of the
What do you mean
camera.
it's backwards.
Well,
Oh, okay.
right. So
looks right for
it's
me.
actually an Onslaught care package, and I want you guys to see what Survio sent me. Despite all the bad things we had to say, this is why people don't understand
game.
it.
They probably
Yeah.
mailed this before they heard all the
Dave,
bad
I'm
shit.
trying
They
to give
mailed this
Survios.
way
I'm trying to give Survios a little bit of credit here. Okay, I'm trying to say that no matter what we said
Well,
about
they
the game,
didn't send me shit, Brian. So give them all the credit you want.
I wouldn't send you
I'm
shit
just
either,
playing with
Dave.
you.
Let's be
see.
fair.
Let's see what they got. What's
All right, so
what's in the bag?
everything has Walking Dead Onslaught logo on it. Okay, so it's all branded. This is a face mask. This is a canteen. We got a steelbook case for the game. Tornado's going crazy. She's like, look at all these toys that I'm about to play with. The complete season 9 on Blu-ray of Walking Dead. What?
Wow.
Right.
Why?
I was like, can you guys send me season 3 through 7 or 8 so I can get caught up? I was like, can you guys just keep sending me these? Like, I'll send them back to you when I'm done with them.
Your Long Shadows says somebody definitely coughed in that box.
Your Long Shadows also says bad review equals asbestos in the mail.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, come on, guys. It is a little concerning anytime. Oh, hey, wait. Is this signed? Oh, this is only 50 of these postcards were ever made. It was signed by Daryl Dixon.
Oh wow! Wait, you have something signed by Norman Reedus right now?
Here it is.
What the fuck?
I had no idea that was in there. I just thought it was a postcard, and then I looked at it closer. Only 50 were ever made.
This is what happens when you hit the big time, folks. Brian is the real deal. You can tell because AJ and I didn't get shit. They didn't even send us one postcard.
Listen, if you think I'm bragging, I'm just setting up a giveaway. Okay, relax.
Are you going to give all this stuff away? Okay, cool.
I feel like I should.
Whoever likes this game, whoever actually likes this game, get excited.
Trick or treat.
Where's Kyle? Kyle loves this game.
Let's see. It's a T-shirt.
He's like the only one who wants this shit.
A sticker with it on it. I think this is like a bandana or it's just a rag, I guess. With the.
What do you mean a rag? It's like a dish rag?
Literally, a dish rag.
Can I get that? Because I need a dish rag.
So you got to enter the content.
All that shit on it. All that shit.
There's like red confetti, like just like strewn about.
See. Yeah.
It's probably supposed to be zombie guts, I'm guessing.
Just like in the game.
Exactly. It all comes full circle. And then I guess this is the art book that they're including in the limited edition perp run that they only made 100 of, I think.
Crack it open. Let's see what's in there.
Is it soft? Still going through everything in that box? Jesus,
it looks soft cover.
Where did you go, AJ? Did you just get? It is soft cover, and that's why I'm curious. Is the perp one hardcover? Because I thought it was. So maybe this is a different version.
Real quick, show us what's in there. Give us a little.
That is a lot.
It looks all black. Every page looks black.
It is. Everything's so dark that I don't know what to show you yet. Yeah,
I've never seen an art book like that where the background is just fucking
more characters. Oh, it's so dark, man. It's so dark. Actually everything is. Oh, some environments here. Some different environments shown.
Okay.
This looks like concept art more than anything. Chapter 3. Oh, I'm on chapter 3. I didn't realize how far I'd made it. Oh, yeah, locales. There's some armor. It's
Mark Pringlesleep says, to get some of the merch, I will not only like the game, I will love it. So be prepared.
Ooh, this is my favorite page so far. On the extra page, it says graffiti, and there's graffiti.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I guess it's just shit that you see on the walls of the game, like
out.
Literally graffitied on the walls.
Real good stuff. Stay quiet. Very typical graffiti.
This is like all the art assets. And these are all the missing pictures that you pick up in the game. So, yeah, this is like everything that you find in the game, but in a book. I got through it much faster this time. And that's it. So thank you, Servios. Best of luck to you. We hope that you can patch your game up, and so it's something we can recommend to people. But right now, it's on, as Dave said, it's the worst game you've made, and that's saying a lot.
It's on the shit list. It's on the shit list for now.
It's on the shit list for now. Good point. Yeah, seriously, Sprint Factory 2 for sure. Tornado just ran by me. There she is. I think we might have a guest host here in a second. Tornado.
Danger is impending.
Oh, well, it doesn't. Guys, I hate to say it, but we're going downhill one more time here because we got a message about Drunken Bar Fight getting an EU physical release on October 30th. That's going to be available on the EU store. I'm going to go ahead and say it, man. Don't buy this game.
Don't buy this game. Yeah, they keep trying to patch it.
Drunken Bar Fight is terrible.
I mean, it's one of those things where, like, it looks fun on the internet when you watch some guy play it and have a good time. Like, so I shouldn't shit on Drunken Bar Fight because that's one of my most popular videos ever on YouTube. No, but at the same time, I don't particularly like the game. It's like one of those meme-y kind of games. You know, like, it's just meme-y. And people think it's like, oh, it's kind of the proto-Gorn in a way.
You say meme-y? Like you added a Y onto meme? Like meme-y?
Yeah, it's like meme-y. I think that's why people are interested, because they see these videos online of this silly ass, really stupid looking Drunken Bar Fight game, and they're like, "What the hell is that? That looks crazy." And it's not because it's good or anything. Oh, there's Tornado.
Oh, who's a good girl? Who's a good girl?
Yeah, this game, I played this game after the update. I was actually sort of, I'm not going to say really, I was sort of excited about the about the Thanksgiving update to this game.
Black
But
Friday
man,
one?
the Black Friday, the performance of the game is just bad though. Like the game is so janky, so clunky. There was something that was funny that happened though, is that they have they added multiplayer to this now, and there's like a social screen output. So when I streamed this game, it was everybody watching my stream was seeing it from the view of like a security camera. So it wasn't like the first person, and they were watching me like run around and like get into a fight with Santa Claus and throw like a jar of bees at somebody, and it was pretty funny. I remember Diz was saying like, AJ, you got to go watch this back. And I watched it back, and it was pretty hilarious. But
well, that's the thing. It's entertaining to watch if you're playing it for people or with people around you. I think maybe a good party game, like to just put people in and be like, "Look how stupid this is."
That's how TVs get broken. Speaking from experience.
Well, I had a friend in Pistol Whip, which is not a TV breaking game in my mind. He turned around and almost punched a hole in my window back there. Yeah. I don't know why. He just he was trying to shoot a guy behind him.
He was trying to shoot a guy that he missed.
And he's really tall. And so he just turned around and was like in my window all of a sudden. It's fucking crazy.
Oh, man. But, okay, so moving on. In good news, though, very, very good news. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, the complete edition, is now up for pre-order on Amazon for $39.99. This item will be released on November 3rd, 2020. And it says, the complete edition features The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners PSVR full game, Tourist Edition in-game bonuses, and the Meat Grinder update. So it's just basically everything with the game. I think there was something about saying that it also includes a season pass or something. So there might be some additional stuff coming later for this. Nothing confirmed yet, but something to keep an eye on. But yeah, obviously, I can get behind this one.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
because I got the stuff.
I dropped my DualShock, but in kind of reference to what we were talking about earlier, Walking Dead wise, Onslaught, I checked out the patch notes. I got them ready to go. This version 1.02. This is not going to be edifying for anyone, but it says teleport fix and other minor adjustment. Now, I did not know that the teleport was broken because we don't use teleport. Right. So apparently they fixed that if you were using teleport. And other minor adjustments.
So what they're telling us
is very vague. I have no clue what happened there.
Is that there were even more problems than we realized because even the teleportation was busted. All right.
Yeah. I'm surprised IGN didn't dock it for that. Because usually IGN, on teleportation this game, they only play teleport over there.
I'm gonna give IGN some respect. I actually enjoyed their review of Onslaught. I thought it was fair, and I thought it was fairly well done. Yeah. And it was nice. It was nice seeing some PC VR footage too, because you could see that the dynamic lighting or the lighting in general overall on PC is far better than the PSVR version.
I have to assume the dismemberment stuff is way more a PC feature than it is a PSVR feature as well. Maybe. Like those minute little things they were talking about. Yeah.
Excellent. Physical edition, man. If you're going to have a physical edition of any PSVR game, this is the one to get, man. But you should already own Saints and Sinners. So just put this one up on your
number
wall.
Number one.
Yeah. Well, last time it was number one.
To everybody who's in the EU, man, go have fun with Squadrons. I know your games are unlocking in 1 minute. Have fun with Star Wars Squadrons in the
guys.
EU.
I'm gonna go move to Europe, man. I'm gonna move to Europe because I want to feel that excitement all over again.
Yeah,
I do want to play it some more.
Yes,
well, we're gonna get to capture the U.S. excitement in a few hours here. So,
all right. So, the other thing that happened this week, this is interesting. Swordsman got a big update. We reviewed the game and stuff. We played the game before. We enjoyed it, but it did have some post-launch bugs that were pretty messed up. However, yesterday they released a patch that not only fixed those bugs but added some new cool tweaks to it. I got some really good things to say about this.
Do you want to tell us what those are?
I would like to hear from you first.
Yeah, well, I haven't played since the patch, but I do think, Sin Studios, Alex Sin, the guy over there who's been talking to us, up front, even before the game came out, when I was playing the PC beta, he said, "Hey, man, give me the hard truth. Tell me how to make this better."
Right.
Because he knows that we've shit on those Sin Studios games constantly. in the past. And nobody wants to make a bad game, like obviously. And so he's actually really invested in that kind of feedback. And I think a lot of what he put in this patch is directly based on people's concerns. Like, he made it harder to stab enemies in the face. I feel like that was the main complaint I heard from everybody. It's like, it's too easy if you can just walk up and poke them in the face. For me personally, I reveled in it because I was like, haha, loser, boop. And I just had a good time with that. So, like, I might like it less now, actually, but I'm not sure. But yeah, it sounds like stuff that people actually said, hey, this is my issue with the game. Here's my feedback. And the patch is a litany of updates. Like, there's so many updates in that thing. So, good shit.
Yeah, the patch. Sorry, go ahead, AJ.
No, you go.
Oh, okay. Well, when I dove into the patch, I mean, I already liked this game ahead of time. This was certainly one of those games it's going to be very divisive. It's very straightforward. There's no villagers to talk to between battles. There's no side quest. There's no main quest. It's very much a wave shooter. If a wave shooter, could use swords, the wave sword fighting game. And so it's going to be very divisive. If you don't like what it's doing, then there's not a whole lot here for you. But man, I liked what it was doing. I'm a big fan of Swordsman, and I love that the support keeps coming for it. Especially since one of the things that we all kind of complained about right off the bat was, oh man, when they gang up on you or when they charge at you, they get up right in your face, and it's like there's nothing you can do. You're already dead. And now it feels like more of a gameplay element. It's like, yeah, it's gonna happen, so keep them away. And now that kick button not only
actually works.
It's got a further reach, and it's more likely to knock them back. So not only are you constantly attacking and retreating, but if they charge at you, you got to be ready to give them a kick and put them back where they belong. So kick with your elbow.
And I'm glad that mechanic works now, because so when I played first on PC, this is one of the very few games where I said to myself, like, thumbsticks matter. Thumbsticks actually mattered to me in this game.
Right.
Because while the controls are not busted by any stretch of the imagination, they're just like not as quick as it is if you had a thumbstick. And so I found myself in that situation where they were too close to me and I couldn't get back. And there's no backdash button, which I feel like a backdash button would be hugely useful. But the kick, now that it works, is really cool.
There's a backup button.
You can walk backwards at a slow pace, yeah. But I'm talking about like
I use that all the time. The backdash would be better, yeah. But
I mean, until you fall. Well, we'll talk about that later.
But if you're having issues with movement speed, especially with your back, I mean, that's why you upgrade your agility.
You upgrade your agility, exactly. So that's one cool thing about the game that we've talked about before. It's that kind of upgrade path, the RPG style. Like, you feel slow at first, and then you actually do feel the movement speed go up if you put points into agility and stuff. So.
Decepticon just brought up a really great point, and I think it was posted originally by Hibsy in the Discord. Somebody put it in the Discord earlier, but they just got this patch out, and then there's gonna also be let's see, there's also gonna be some Halloween content. It sounds like that we are gonna be getting. They posted in their Discord that there is. It was Hibsy who posted in the PSVR discussions in our Discord. Make sure you join our Discord. He says, October update. Among the things we're rapidly deploying into the game on all platforms, a new game mode is expected this month of October, leading up to Halloween, as well as some fun seasonal content. The new game mode will introduce a new map, enemy type, items, and unique Halloween unlockable. More on this soon.
Yes.
Swordsman
like
coming
skeletons.
in hot for Halloween.
It better be skeleton knights.
It's gotta be
like
skeleton
knights, and they have archery bows, and you knock the arrows away, and you
suck it, Undead Citadel.
Let me sum it up for you though. The physics in this game, because this game is going to get compared to Until You Fall a lot, and I actually really like both of them a lot. I like this game for the physics, and just the brawling. Like, it feels the weight of the weapons. I don't know, except for Golem. Maybe Golem has really nailed that weight. But man, when games nail that sword fighting and that weight, they feel so good in VR. So I really like what I'm seeing here. Among all those fixes too, you can turn off the anti-aliasing, and I love that. I've always liked anti-aliasing on. and it does make it more fuzzy sometimes. This is the first game that I like that setting off. Just everything just looks really nice and detailed.
You're welcome.
And thank you for that, by the way.
I asked him personally. I was like, "Can we just turn it off? You've got 2 versions of it. Can we just turn it off?" And he goes, "Okay, sure." It's like, "Oh, thanks."
I definitely prefer the way it looks now without that. And I wanted to just jump in, just test everything out real quick. I ended up getting to the second boss last night because I couldn't stop playing. I love how a bunch of people love Gorn to just run in and just, let it all out and get some energy out of their system. Yeah. That's how I feel about this game. I love the sword fighting in this game.
Well, and some of the balancing.
This game is like okay. So this is like a workhorse game. It's not flashy. It's not stylistically exciting, but it does what it's supposed to do pretty goddamn well. And there's a lot to do in it. I think so when you compare it to a game like Until You Fall, that just out of the gate looks more engaging. It's got like an immediate grasp on you. Whereas this game I think will appeal to different people for a different reason. Even though they're both totally sword combat games. I keep hearing, should I get Swordsman or Until You Fall? And really, they're not the same game by any stretch of the imagination. No. Totally different. The only thing that's similar is that they have swords and stuff in them. Like, that's it. So we'll get to that, but just don't throw them both in the same boat. I think Swordsman's its own thing, and we'll have an audience out there for people who are interested in what it's doing.
Yeah,
I really like it.
Blaze mentions that they added another patch today at 1.05. That was a hot fix for some people who are having problems with, I think, patch 1.04.
Okay.
And just to add a little bit more, 2 of the big complaints that I've heard, and actually, I actually felt one of these complaints myself. One big complaint for people who are just getting into it is like, I'm hacking away at enemies, and it's like I died 100 times before I beat the very first battle.
Me too.
And
same.
I didn't have that issue at all. Like the
difficulty seems more balanced now. It doesn't spawn. Yeah, it seemed a little bit more balanced for some reason.
Yeah. So
the weird thing is, before, like, there's this difficulty that is unbalanced, but if you learn the face poking trick, it's incredibly easy. And I feel like they've balanced both sides of that now, where it's not as hard up front, so you don't have to look for an exploit to get through. Because, like, really, I got to a point where I realized I can only beat this if I stab him in the face. And that's what I did, because I want to move forward and unlock stuff. And so the fact that the stabbing is less effective and normal combat is better, I think that they hit both ends of that problem with this patch, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's definitely way more balanced now. You can stab them in the face less. That's less likely to be a thing that works. And then also, one of the things that they balanced was your just normal attacks, especially at the beginning of the game, are going to take off a little bit more of the health bar of your enemies, so it's not going to be so overwhelming at first. And the other thing was that I actually complained about in my review, and I heard that guy as well complain about in his. The second you defeat one boss, and you have that boss sword to fight the rest of your battles with, the game's over. You're just like done, no problem at all. And that's also
there. Oh, I haven't fought a boss. Yeah. I've never got to a boss yet.
Oh wow!
So I was doing much better on PC than I was on PSVR.
Oh, I had no idea. I'm about to platinum this game.
Yeah. Oh shit! Well, let Brian talk about it.
No, well, I mean, so it's the second you get one boss sword. The second you conquer one boss, doesn't matter which one. I beat the second one first, and then bam, and that's the one that shoots electricity out of it. And so you don't even have to get close to the guys, it's like you hit them, and then you hit them until they charge up a little bit, and then boom, you use it. But I think all of the boss swords have now been dwarfed a little bit. Is that a expression? Nerfed. That's the word I'm looking for.
That's what you want. Yeah, they didn't get dwarfed.
I feel like I just got politically incorrect for a second there. That's not
might have.
I'm sorry. No. Snow White's pissed.
That means to like overwhelm or to like cover.
Yeah, nerf.
Smurf is another word.
Smurf is a word you can use for everything, right? But yeah, so all those things have been balanced. In this game, I just feel like he's getting better and better, and with more content on the way. Now that he's sort of like balanced everything, I think I'm so excited to see what happens with this in the future.
Yeah, no, I think there's good things coming for Sin Studios. Like, it seems like he finally kind of got on the horse and figured out how to make a decent game. Yeah. And that's cool. That's awesome. And it sounds like we're getting improvements for the foreseeable future. So good stuff.
Really excited. Halloween update, man.
I feel like we
Yeah.
talked
All right.
about Swordsman longer
They
this
better be
week than we did
skeleton.
We
last
did,
week.
but I like this game a lot, so I was happy to talk about it. I really do like this game. I will defend this game.
Nice.
So we've got 3 Kickstarters that are going on, some about to start soon and some that have already started just now. One of the latest updates is the Kickstarter for Elysia, the massive multiplayer online RPG that is inspired by several different MMOs and stuff like World of Warcraft. It looks a lot like World of Warcraft in VR, but then it has like the first person and it has like climbing and some other, VR-y kind of things. There is at this moment, there is only 60 hours left on their Kickstarter. But they wanted to have a goal of $60,000. Guys, they doubled it and they're still
That's
going.
big news.
So they have released what stretch goals they have hit. So the game has been fully funded, but now they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11. You got no more fingers.
More fingers.
11
Get your
stretch
toes in
goals
there.
have
We
been
need
hit.
toes,
So
Brian. Toes.
these are the things that are the things
You're
that are
barefoot, motherfucker. I don't
Oh,
know you're
dude,
barefoot.
I work from home. I haven't put socks or shoes on in like
I got
months.
socks on.
Oh God, come
Um,
on. I barely have pants
but
on.
You just did it.
But yeah, this is huge, man. Congratulations to Elysia and what is it, Team 21 Studios. Big congrats to you guys because this game looks really awesome. Of all the MMOs, I've been looking at this and Zenith, and this one, I'm a former WoW player. I played the hell out of World of Warcraft and some EverQuest and stuff, and this has that kind of vibe going for it. But the stretch goals include additional starting races. So there's going to be new races that you can play as. Multi-rider mounts. So now, not only are there mounts in the game, but multiple people can be on them. That might be some crazy fun.
How many people are going
like
to be on the Dargon at once?
the Dargon, multi-Dargon,
5-man
But,
Dargon.
if I play with you guys, well, maybe I shouldn't tell you, but I would honestly probably try and trick you where like I drive it off a cliff and like jump off and let you guys go.
Like
Anyway.
a Thelma and Louise? You're going to do a Thelma and Louise?
Well, I would jump out, so not really.
Spoilers
I'm not holding her hand going
If
down. with that.
anybody hasn't seen
for
Thelma.
a 30-year-old movie.
Yeah.
There's
Brian, I
pets.
wanted to say real quick. Sorry,
Okay.
side note. If Twitter has taught me anything, don't show feet on the internet unless you're getting paid for it. Somebody out there liked that a little more than they should have. Anyways,
But then by all means, man, soak it
well,
in.
I'm saying you
soak
gotta,
it in,
no,
man.
no, this is what you save for your OnlyFans, dude. Save that.
And you guys think
then-
I have way more time than I do. Yes, my OnlyFans account is taking off. Also,
Just feet pics.
Also, did you guys know I dance on TikTok now?
Oh, I didn't know that at all.
Dude,
actually.
my Savage Love video has like 1 million views.
No, it doesn't.
I don't know. I only watch things on TikTok. I don't do anything.
I'd love to see us all do some TikTok. Anyways, let's get back to it. We're talking about AJ. What were
All right, back to the stretch goals. There is now a pet breeding system. So you can be able to breed pets. I breeded the hell out of chocobos in Final Fantasy VII,
Nice.
and that shit, it was a pain in the ass, but it was actually really rewarding at the end. Advanced pet leveling and skills. So yeah, that's pretty sweet. I love having pets in games, and having pet in an MMO is awesome because you kind of show it off. You could have a little tornado, Brian.
Yeah,
you
for
could have
sure.
a little tornado in Elysia, Brian.
There's
running
one
around
thing
with-
about
There's one thing I
the
don't
only
need is more
existing-
tornado.
The only existing MMO in VR that I've tried is Orbis. And the first
Right.
thing that happened to me was some cool guy in town was just like, "Hey, bro, I'm super high level. You want a pet dragon? I'll get you one. What color you want?" And he just like hooked me up. And then I just immediately had a pet dragon wandering around. And it was so cool. Like it was just, cosmetic, but still pretty goddamn cool. Wow, that's stretch goals, AJ. Damn.
Yeah, for
You
real.
just posted this in our Discord chat. They
Uh,
have made a lot of money on this one. I hope it's good.
Was that so? Wait. So they met that pet thing. They met that goal already for the stretch goal. You're muted, I think, AJ. Well, we can't hear you.
AJ? No, he's muted as hell. Sorry, bud.
So Dave, you want to see whose foot's bigger? You want to put both?
Sure.
up to
Actually,
the
yeah. Wait,
camera?
what size shoe do you wear? What size shoe do you wear? This
13s.
Oh, dude, I'm like 11 and a half. Damn, fuck you. You're so tall, though. That's because you're so tall.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know at home, Dave is way shorter than he appears to be. I thought Dave was like almost 6 feet tall, and you got.
No,
and
I'm like 5'8". I'm
Yeah.
5'8".
It was shocking when he showed
5'9"
up.
on a good day. 5'9" on a good day. I'll wear my platforms.
Well, then I must have been having a good day because I felt like I was like 6'2" hovering over you.
Well, and AJ was bigger than me too. Like he was taller than I expected as well.
Let me tackle
He's
some
he's
tips.
silent. He can't. Yeah, let's get
tackle some tips while we wait for AJ to get his shit figured out. You got cold yogurt. I didn't say it nearly as cool as AJ would, but it's a $3 donation saying Elysia is cross-platform too, which is fantastic, man. More cross-platform, the better. Thank you so much for the donation. Red Rover, Joe Grover, F Game Cat right over. I don't know how that worked out. $2 donation saying feet back on the rock. I love this thing.
And then we got one more from K Panic, the midichlorian game cat, who's absolutely ready for Star Wars Squadrons, apparently. He says, to Dave, our mother of dragons.
Dargans.
Oh, there he is. He's back.
Petrifying Pumpkin says, what a great time to join Dave's Secret Exposed. I'm not sure what that means, that I'm
Well,
not tall? I mean, Pumpkins, you're not tall either. I bet
Big
you're
Papa
5'8",
Pup
just like
in the
me.
house.
Listen, if anybody's got a short secret, it's Jeremy King. The Sofa King is like 5'5".
And I love him. He's an adorable little dwarf guy, and I give him a hug.
I mean, he's one of our favorite people. I mean, it's hard not to like
nice.
Jeremy. He's one of my favorite people in the world.
You know what I'm really excited about? Side note, he texted me. Are you guys in on this? Tomorrow night,
Yeah.
we're all playing Squadrons together. Me,
The 4 of
Jeremy,
us.
you. Yes.
Pretty sure I'm not doing anything else.
I mean, the
for next
5
few
of
days.
us. I forgot my note. There's 4. There's 4.
Dargans.
Well, we can get a 5th. Let's get Dez. Get Dez in there.
90,000 K. They added a battle royale instance town. Instances are kind of how
90,000K.
that's
a
the
lot of
stretch
money.
goal. Yeah, well, it keeps going at 95,000. They added a mount inventory and bag system, so now your mounts will have inventory. It's a good idea, actually.
That's a great idea.
100K. A mount breeding system. Now, not just breed your pets, but you can breed your mounts. And finally, at 110K. Actually, no, shit, there's more. Full body tracking, which obviously isn't for us. Einstein, the pack cat for all backers. There's a cat that you get if you back the game.
Whoa.
120,000 Handsome Joe's prized pony mount for all backers. You get a pony.
It feels like it's getting
125.
sexual.
It is getting a little bit.
125, and this seems like where it's going to end at. There is airship and naval combat at 125,000.
Wow.
Looks like this thing's about to cap out at 129,000 within
Real
the
quick,
next.
what we need to do, guys, you need to get out there and make sure they get to 150K, because it says that stretch goal is PvP honor rewards system. And I want to be rewarded for being honorable, don't you? I feel like there should be a system where if some guy's a dick, you know he's a dick. And you're like, look at this dishonorable piece of shit. And then I come in and they're like, wow, the most honorable man in the world. And they look at me and they know that. So let's get it to 150K, because that's the next stretch goal, guys.
Sorry
And
about
a
all
few
the
more tips,
sirens
though.
on my
This is
end.
what this is what I wanted to tell you, Brian. Your Long Shadows knows what's up. 50 North Korean burners. He says, FYI, somebody just got a new tantalizing shot for their foot fetish folder.
I like to
I
think that
know-
your Long
I know a
Shadows
lot of
said
you guys
it
out
like
there have foot
somebody,
fetish
like
Somebody. Who
just
could
got a
it
new
be?
like I just did. I want to
Yeah.
picture it like that for sure. Also,
And
J
Jay
Meow,
Meow.
$2
Yeah, you got it.
donation saying enough of this nonsense. Talk about squadrons. We will, but we're dangling that carrot, man. On the end of this very long.
So,
13
A long.
We
size
actually have
13.
one more Kickstarter to go through that's booting up. Dave, why don't you take over on this one, and then it is time to talk about Squadrons right after this.
Wow.
Okay, so AJ's kind of thrown me like into the fire here. Throwing me
Brian?
the deep into the pool, because I've never looked at this game before, but I will tell you all about it. It's Patagon, the Forbidden Island, a steampunk RPG.
Patagon.
Okay, well, this actually already sounds cool. It says a steampunk VR game set in 1901 where you battle dinosaurs and fly zeppelins on a tropical island. Cool, I'm down. They have a big T-Rex on the picture. The only unfortunate thing is that it looks like they're not very close to their goal. It's $2,000 out of $30,000.
It's only day 2 though, isn't it?
It is. There's 28 days left to go. Only 50 backers so far, but it looks pretty cool. I like
Dude,
dinosaurs and steampunk. Good combo.
Absolutely.
Yeah, looking good.
Yeah, and it's open world.
This game takes place in an alternate reality where the British Empire has never ended. That's kind of lame. But
What?
okay, you're a retired Army lieutenant turned big game hunter. Okay, so you're a big game hunter and you have to go to the dinosaur island to hunt these dinosaurs. There's stealth, action, and puzzles, they say. And it says, where does it say PSVR? I'm looking. Does it say PSVR?
They list a ton of headsets, and PSVR is one of them.
Oh, I just saw it. Okay, yeah. Oculus, Valve Index, PC, just like as a platform, I guess, Vive and PlayStation VR. So we're looking good there.
Also, non-VR
yeah.
too, apparently, if that's your thing. It seems like they're trying to make it for everything. I mean, I get nervous when I see things like this because it's super ambitious, and they're talking about all the platforms, and there's no way this is PS4. No chance in hell. This has to be PS5.
Here's the thing, though. Like, I'm looking at the video that they have, and there's a weird old dude in stupid steampunk eye goggles on his head. And then he's talking about the game, and he shows footage. And there's this shot. I don't know if you're showing the footage from the Kickstarter right now, but there's a giant T-Rex that looks really janky, and your dude has a revolver, and he's just like pumping shots away at a T-Rex with a revolver, which doesn't seem very... It's not what I expected. It doesn't look particularly good.
I can scroll back now and show people what you're talking about. Look, there it is.
The video, it's about 236 to 240.
Oh,
maybe.
wow, you've got a way longer video than I do. I've got my video is only like a minute total.
No, this is the one from the actual Kickstarter page itself. Like their video when you click on it. And it looks rough. They show a lot of images of like art design, but then when they show footage, I think they need a lot of money to make this good.
Well, it's very important.
It looks janky itself.
You know, anytime people always get really upset about Kickstarters, they're like, "Oh, I donated and I didn't hear anything for 3 years," and I'm like, "Well, that's kind of how Kickstarters worked." I've backed 2 or 3 projects in my life and then just forget about them. Like, just give them the money that you're going to give them, and then just pretend like it doesn't exist anymore. Don't like they keep putting out these updates, and I go, I don't care about the updates. Unsubscribe. I don't need to know. Just you've got my address. Send me the game when it's done. And then, like, literally one day, a new TurboGrafx CD game showed up, and I was like, oh my god, I remember that I backed this like 3 years ago. That's amazing.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it's like a gift in the mail. It's like, oh my god, they actually completed it, and but you just have to put it out of your mind, because if there are so many people that are like, oh, they're not updating, they're so unreliable, it's a scam, blah blah blah, this that, and it's like, dude, just give them your money and go away and pretend like it doesn't exist anymore. The downside is of course, you know, things like Metaverse were actually a scam, where they took a bunch of people's money, and then that was it. Getting your money back was impossible.
Yeah, it's ghosted. Yeah.
Right. So that's the other side of it.
Yeah.
I like the idea, though. I like the idea of this game. I like what you said. They're, might be over ambitious, but guys, if you're ready, it is time to talk about our first impressions with Star Wars Squadrons coming out tonight at midnight. If you pre-order it, if you don't pre-order it, then you're gonna have to wait till tomorrow.
If streaming, we'll see if this works. I think we should be back now. So AJ,
Ryan,
I hear we're going to talk about Squadrons, man.
Yeah, let's talk about Squadrons.
Time. Take it away, Brian.
Thanks, OBS.
Man, well, first and foremost, as we already mentioned, I think all 3 of us bought it from the Australian store, so we were able to play it this morning, or I was able to play it this morning. You guys were doing real life work stuff, and man, I will tell you something right off the bat. This game looks pretty darn impressive, right? We can talk about cinematics, we can talk about everything else, but man, just sitting in that cockpit is just an amazing feeling, and you can tell that this is EA, right? That this is, we kept saying, oh, EA doesn't have experience with VR. Who knows? This could be really blurry. We have no idea. And I'm happy to report that at least on the Pro, I've not played this on an OG. I hope someone out there has played it on an OG so we can get the feedback. But on a Pro, this game looks fantastic.
I heard it's a little blurry on an OG, but I heard it still looks really good.
That's awesome to hear. I mean, it's still a little blurry, like in the background. You know, the ship's far off, but I mean, like honestly, it's about as good as I could have possibly expected with everything that's going on. It looks fantastic.
And I think there's these little details that you might not notice up front how impressive they are, but like the lighting on the interior of the ship. When you do a flip, right? You can see the way that the light source changes on the interior of your cockpit, which is really cool to see in real time. Like, not many space dogfighting games that we've seen on PS4 VR can pull this off. They did something kind of magical here, I think, with getting that lighting the way it is, and just it really feels like you're in that cockpit. It's great stuff.
For real.
You got Cold Yogurt asked, is it No Man's Sky blurry? Not even
It's
close.
not.
This
No,
game
it's
is
not.
hardly blurry at all. And the first thing I did, when I jumped in, was like I noticed the scale of everything, the scale of some of the scenes and stuff, the ships, everything. The ships and stuff, they seem fine, but like the backgrounds, the levels, and their 3D environments, they all feel like really good game maps. And guys, this is a big deal to me because I felt like, as I was playing this, I've only played like an hour and a half. I got through the prologue, and then I got through some of the multiplayer and just versus AI. But guys, this is absolutely feels like a AAA game, and that is not something we get very often for PSVR games. A lot of indie devs. Shout out to all the indie devs, so pushing VR forward. But this is like a big deal for a AAA company to come in and help produce a AAA quality game in VR. And I feel like this game, I don't even know how you could play this game flat screen. Like, to me, I'm like, this game was meant for VR.
100%.
Here's the thing that's really exciting too. Like, not only is this a AAA game for us, it's a game that everyone's excited about, even flat screen. So people who don't have VR, they're not thinking about it like you are, where like I could only play this in VR. They're thinking, oh, cool, a new TIE Fighter versus X-Wing game. I cannot wait to play this online. And so when I played multiplayer this afternoon, even before the game's out in the US, there were a ton of people on there, and by default, voice chat works cross-platform, and you're automatically paired with people on PC and flat and every version of the game. It was seamless. It was instant. It was just like, this works, and I'm in my team, whatever platform they're playing it on, flat, PC, PS4, whatever, VR, voice chat was just out of the box right there. And it was really, really easy. And a lot of games don't offer that. You know what I mean? Like, it's really cool to know that there was just a player base, even before it got released in my country,
Right.
with cool people who talked to me on comms, and we worked together and won both times. It was really fun. So, like, yeah, the multiplayer, despite the private lobbies thing, which we'll talk about later, I'm sure, it is really seamless and really good. There's a player base already.
So Dave
it's not
agrees
even
that the graphics are good. Dead Ringer with the $5
Yes,
donation.
graphics are good.
Saying
Sorry. I'm gonna talk about
Dead
other
Ringer
stuff.
says fast forward 72 goddamn minutes. It did take 72 goddamn minutes. So sorry about taking so long to get to that tip. We also want to give a shout out to Red Rover, the effing game cat. Red Rover, Joe Grover.
I got this one.
Okay.
He says, "Cry when I get this, I will. Pants my shirt. Yeah."
Thank you, Joe, for the
Very good.
$5 donation. Just wanted to get those before we get knee deep into this conversation. Yeah, well, I mean, Dave, we'll come back to the single player campaign in a second, but I do want to say that all three of us, like before the show, like I was playing multiplayer, and I will say right off the bat, my very first match, like, I mean, I just got demolished. I was like, oh my god, I really suck at this game. I got one kill at the very last second, and like they got me like 5 times easily, and then I played 3 more matches, and I killed it, man. I was so happy that I was like, because I thought maybe I was just wasn't up to the task yet, that I needed to learn a few more maneuvers or something. But man, I came back swinging, and my team was awesome. And there's only one other
that's a
guy
good
in
part.
voice chat. But you know, I took one of his kills, I felt like, and I apologized. He's like, no big deal. And like we just,
He still gets assist points for that.
right. But we were just taking him down one after another. And I was having so much fun that the next thing I knew, I looked up and I was like, oh my god, it's Gamescast time. Gotta go. And you know, and I had 30 things to do in 9 minutes. And that's why this show was started 4 minutes late. Because I was like, because I was playing Star Wars Squadrons multiplayer and just lost track of time. I was like, oh right, Gamescast today. Shit. And that's
It's
the
so
best.
addicting.
Yeah.
It's really fun. It's a good. I love the way it's designed, because it's got that kind of like, you know, you've got the quick respawn, and in between rounds you can choose which ship you like. So like, if you want to switch to a support class, or if you were a support class and you're like, I don't know how to use this thing, as soon as you die, you have the option to change, and that's really fun. I like that. The
D-Day
only
style.
real issue I had with multiplayer was that after a match, it just sends you back out into the ether, and you can't stay with that group that you played with. So like both games that I played were with teams where we won and they were good. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't great, but I did okay, and they helped us win. And I was like, these guys are cool. They're talking on mic. I want to keep playing with them. The game just kicks you out of the main menu, and you got to restart matchmaking again. You're not in a lobby exactly. So that is something I'd really like to see them change. I'd like to keep playing a game with people like Firewall style. If we got a good rivalry going against this team against us, keep a few matches going, best out of 3, something like that. But it just kicks you out as soon as you're done. And there's no private matches, which is unfortunate.
Now,
I think that's most of the negative out of the way already, because
well, just hold on, time out for a second while we're talking about that kind of stuff. There was the next mode. Like the next mode hadn't even unlocked for me yet, because I wasn't level 5, and that seemed like
the ranked. It's the ranked mode, yeah.
Right. And so, do ranked modes is that when you start squatting up, and is that when you start like maybe tackling these things?
But I don't think so. From what I've heard,
I'm level
there is
4.
not.
I'll know soon.
Okay, cool. I think I'm level 3. Played like 2 multiplayer matches.
So, you guys actually got into multiplayer. I tried the AI versus the fleet.
Okay.
And guys, this fleet mode, I thought this was probably the thing that I was most excited about. And man, so far it is absolutely delivered. The fleet mode, I absolutely love. I can't wait to play it with an actual team, with actual like other players, because it just seems like so much fun, so intense. It's like this back and forth tug of war where you dogfight in the beginning, then you take out the frigates, and then you try to take out the capital ship in the end. And man, my team was actually it was all AI, but my team was completely getting slaughtered. We were getting absolutely destroyed, and we totally turned it around at the very end and went back and destroyed the starfighter ship, and it was just the Star Destroyer. And it was just such a cool experience, and just a game. Like it's both. This game is both a great experience and game, and that is just really cool.
I want to ask you actually, because I didn't get a chance to play that mode. I just played online. What is that?
Dogfighting?
Online dogfighting. Yeah. And I played a little bit of the campaign, the first 2 missions, which are basically tutorials.
Right.
By the way, before you can play multiplayer, guys, when this unlocks at midnight, just know the game's going to make you play 1 TIE Fighter mission and 1 X-Wing mission.
Right.
They're both fairly short. It's probably like 20 minutes tops. And then you unlock online multiplayer.
It would be 20 minutes tops if you're not me. Because
I finished the prologue.
I was pretty bad at it too. No, I was pretty bad at it too.
You finish the prologue, and then then it goes like Star Wars Squadrons, and then it's got the whole menu.
The actual game starts.
Like the main menu.
But like Brian said, there's certain stuff like the ranked missions in multiplayer you have to be level 5 to get to. So that's actually kind of cool. Like I like that they're not just like throwing guys off the street into ranked matches with dudes who are like level 20. So yeah, no, I mean, the only thing I think is I had some issues up front because I kept trying to tweak the controls to what I wanted them to be.
You can remap the entire controls.
Everything. The only thing is that I didn't put enough thought into it beforehand to think like, okay, if I turn R1 and L1 into roll, because that's what I wanted.
Yeah,
I wanted R1 and L1 to be the roll buttons, not on a stick. I don't like that. And so there's not a default loadout option with the controls for that. But when I remapped those, I didn't know what to put the other buttons to. I was like, I didn't think about like, what should that be instead? What should missile lock on be? What should missile launch be? Is that like square X? But square and X are already buttons. So I didn't bother with it.
Probably a good time to bring up K-Panic the Metachlorian Gamecat's $5 tip saying, between the 3 of you, how many on HOTUS? Do I buy or will DualShock 4 do? That's the embarrassing story of my day, is I just wasn't prepared for this live stream, and I didn't try the HOTUS.
I didn't try the HOTUS. Yeah,
I did try the HOTUS, and it worked right away. I did run into a little bit of a bug where my DualShock had to be on, and then my DualShock turned off because I've got that to save power for it. And when that happened, then like it said, reconnect DualShock, and then the only way to get it to work was unplugging my HOTUS. So you're gonna, they said that there's a day 1 patch for this. Because I got the Australian version, it is possible that it doesn't have that patch yet. but the HOTAS did work right out the gate. And I think if I remapped possibly if I remap the things to the DualShock 4 that it has, it might work for the HOTAS as well. Because there is like there usually when you tilt the HOTAS the stick to the left and right, that's usually like how you like do like a roll, like a barrel roll or something.
Yeah.
And then when you twist is more for the rudders, and right now that's reversed, and I want that switched. I want to, like, when I turn the joystick or push the joystick to the left, I want that to roll like you just standard, it's like in every other game, so it's a little bit different.
What they don't have, and I think what I would love to see, is like an Ace Combat style controller setup, because the ones that they have available to you, there's one called Default, there's one called Aviator, and there's one called Southpaw. None of those satisfied exactly what I wanted out of it, which was basically kind of like Ace Combat controls, essentially. This mimics exactly almost the controls of the Star Wars Battlefront X-Wing mission, which a lot of people said at the time, this doesn't feel like a full-on flight sim game, but that's okay because it's just an experience. And I think that the controls still feel that way a little bit, unless you tweak them or get used to them. It doesn't feel like your typical, like if I grab a DualShock 4, if I grab a DualShock 4 and I play Ace Combat 7 in VR, I kind of have a feel for how it's gonna feel, and it does what I expect it to do.
Right.
In this one, there's a little bit of unexpected, like, oh, that's not what I thought that would do, and this you got to recalibrate your mind a little bit. But it's still, once you get used to it, it's really fun. Like, it's not a bad game at all. It's just,
and the DualShock does work really well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like it did take me a second to get used to it. I think that's the one thing about this game is, like, with the Rogue One, you kind of jump in, you kind of already know where everything is, and there's a couple things you figure out, but you mostly know how to play it off the get-go. This one, you kind of got to get used to the controls a little bit, or you can take the time and get in there and remap everything. But yeah, it wasn't what I was expecting. That being said, I did start to get used to it, and it was fine.
For sure. Like, I started getting kills in multiplayer and stuff. Like, I was like in the middle of the team both times, but I wasn't the worst. Like, I got a few kills. And it's fun, definitely, once you get the hang of it. I think it seems kind of like, I don't know. Never mind. There's a giant tip that we should talk about.
Did we get one to Rob first?
Wait, hold on, guys. Hold on. Hold on a second, guys. Just real quick. I started saying that my embarrassing story of the day with the HOTAS controller was that here I am. I set this stream up last night. I said, okay, I'm going to get a lot of sleep. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to get my HOTAS controller set up and blah, blah, blah. And I had forgotten that, like, I'd cleaned this place up, like, top to bottom. Like, I mean, totally. Like, my place was a wreck for so long. And then I spent 3 days before I got Tornado and just started putting things in boxes, putting them away, putting them under the bed, storing things, stacking boxes, putting my entire closet full of just, like, video games that are all stacked up, put away. Somehow in that process, I was like, I never use my HOTAS. It's time to put it in a box, put it away. I have no idea. My apartment is 450 square feet. I have no idea where the HOTAS controller is. And so I have yet to use mine, to answer K Panic's tip question. But man, I will say the DualShock 4 does work fantastic. There's a lot of buttons that you have to remember. And I got to be honest, I think that would be really hard to acclimate to on the HOTAS. Just because not only is it a different control scheme, but also there's so many buttons that you have to remember where they are and what they do and how to change these things on the fly. Very, very important. So I'm okay with DualShock 4 for now, but I can't wait to find my HOTAS and check it out. Next up, Wonder Rob with the $5 donation saying, does support class get points, or is it like Firewall where you get nothing for going Team Medic?
Points are based on kills and assists mostly. I don't know. So there are, like, supportive items you can use if you've got a support class ship, like certain things that are supposed to benefit the team. I tried one and I just got blown up so quickly because I wasn't maneuverable enough that I didn't play with it anymore. But I'm sure there are people out there who will stick with it and figure out what the meta is for that class. But there's definitely something you can contribute with support. I don't know how the points work out exactly, but
it's unfortunate we haven't had more time with it. A lot of sites get this game days ago, Monday, Tuesday, and here we are. We're scrambling to get as many hours in as possible before Gamescast. So there's a ton of questions we don't know the answers to yet, but we will certainly know soon. And then we have the Wolf Craze with the $50 donation. That's insane. Thank you so much.
Tree Guy? Where the fuck is Tree Guy?
He goes, not that I experience it, but was there a sense of motion sickness? Might someone who suffers from it be cautious? Thank you for sharing your thoughts. I think this is a tough crowd as far as the three of us. Are you hitting them, or are we just looking at them?
But I've got this audio setting on where it doesn't work anymore. Like you'll hear the beginning. You'll hear. I forgot. But listen, you'll hear the very beginning. And then it cuts him off. I don't know why.
So the three of us don't really suffer from motion sickness. There's got to be something wrong with the game, like when the way Golem launched and stuff, for any of us to feel anything. And even then, I don't think AJ even felt something from that. But yeah, so very, very few and far between moments. The things that I always think will cause motion sickness generally don't. And this is something that, I've played E-Valkyrie, I've played Space Rift, I've played, name me some other space combat games here.
End Space.
Perfect. Yeah. No motion sickness with any of these games.
Starblood Arena.
Starblood Arena, the very first time I rolled, and I was like, ooh, I hit R1. Like, whoa, my stomach went, hold on a second, Brian, hold on. But within an hour or so, I acclimated to it, and I was totally fine.
Well, it's funny, actually. Some of the interior scenes in this game reminded me a lot of Starblood Arena. Like, there's multiplayer battle zones or whatever where there's a ship, and you could go inside the ship, and it's all corridors and exits and all kinds of cool little intersecting pathways, and you can have a dogfight inside that thing. It's pretty cool. It's not just all floating around in open space with asteroids and stuff. Like, there's some pretty cool interiors as well.
And no motion sickness though from any of the three of us, I'm assuming.
No, I didn't get any. I think the only thing that might throw people off is sort of that thing where, like, the controls don't do exactly what you think they're going to do. Because I think really if your input doesn't match your expected output, that's a lot of the time where people get motion sickness.
Yeah. Like,
I didn't expect to be spinning right now, but I am. So I think once you get the controls down, I can't see how you would get motion sick.
That's the cockpits have it. Sorry, I'm answering questions.
Yeah, but I mean, like, cockpits have a way of grounding you. You know what I mean? Like, if you're in a cockpit, you're probably fine. Don't worry about this one.
Unless you try playing standing up. Guys, there was one thing that I thought was really cool. So you guys got a really good in-depth on the multiplayer with other players. That's something that I missed out on. I only played against the AI. But I think I found something that you guys might not have. And I thought this was really, really cool. Did you check out the practice mode at all?
No.
There is, in fact, a practice mode. But there's something significant about it because you choose your map, you choose what kind of ship you want to go in. You go into practice mode, then it says practice mode options, or it says like press options for practice mode menu. There's like a list of stuff you can spawn into this empty arena and mess around with. And one of those things was like a time trials thing. Like, you can go to you press options and you can spawn. Remember, like how Iron Man VR has those circles you go through? You can actually spawn one of those and like go throughout the level and practice going through rings and stuff. And it just helps you get your like flying a little bit better. That was one of the coolest things I like didn't expect in this game at all.
I didn't know that was a thing at all either. That's really cool.
Yeah. You can spawn enemies, freighters, whatever.
I mean, it's good to have a practice mode in a game like this because people are going to get competitive out there. Like, this is not going to be, kids play. People will be really serious about this game. And I think they already are, honestly. So, good shit.
This reminds me of like I remember our first night in Firewall. Like, that was, man, and it almost never got better than that first night in Firewall because we were all running around like crazy and like weren't trying to be stealthy. We're just like not playing the way it was designed and just being crazy and playing with our friends and not taking shit seriously. Just being like, this is so much fun. I don't even care that I'm not playing it the right way and I'm not crouching and I'm not hiding and I'm not, it's like we had no idea what we were doing, but we're just having a blast. That's how I went into multiplayer today. And I was like, I'm flying around and I'm just doing all sorts of flips and rolls and stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna hit circle at this time. And but I that's the only reason that my KD ratio was so good today was because it was just like, man, the 2 hours I spent with the campaign, like automatically got me to a point where I could actually hold my own in multiplayer. Give it 2 more days. That's not going to be the case anymore unless I play this thing religiously. So, but I went in and I just had so much fun. Dude.
And that's what we'll find out soon is there any skill-based matchmaking? Like, is it just randomized or is it based on your rank? and your experience and stuff. Because like I would hate to see a situation where, level 1 people are getting thrown into matches with level 20 people. That wouldn't be fun. Especially because like we've had this all day, and people are going to get this at midnight. There's people out there in the world who've been playing for like 12 hours already. They're better than you. So hopefully they don't match you up with them. I hope they match you up with people who just got the game. But we'll see, I guess. It's kind of hard to tell pre-release how that works.
The single player definitely seems like it's teaching you a lot of stuff.
Yes.
One thing we haven't touched base on is you can change in while you're playing. You have at least for the X-Wing, I think it was, you have like 3 or 4 like power bars that you can
every ship has a 3.
Yeah, and you can change like you can select to put all of your energy in your ship towards lasers. You can do it towards your engines, so you have like more agility and speed and boost. And then you can also do it for like just balanced, where they're all balanced out. I love that is like such the smallest little detail mechanic that I absolutely love, because I was like constantly flicking through it.
Dude, it's huge because that's the tactical part of the game. Like if I'm in a dogfight and someone's outmaneuvering me, I have to switch over to the engine's power because then I am more maneuverable and I can keep up with them.
Right.
And if someone's shooting me in the ass and I can't do anything about it, I have to switch to shields because otherwise I'm screwed.
Right.
It's like a constant juggling act of like, where am I putting my power?
Right.
And
even when you're on shields,
that's a cool twist on the game. That's a really cool twist on the game.
Even when you're on shields, it takes it a step further and it says, do you want to focus on the front shields, the back shields, or have it all balanced? And it was like, man, this shit is getting fucking deep. I'm like, I'm trying to fly around and not get my ass kicked, and you're asking me to be another person on the Star Trek bridge crew. Like there was an entire role on Star Trek bridge crew that did this stuff, that did all the balancing, and I was like, you want me to do that while I'm shooting people and getting shot at? I was like, wow, okay. So suddenly it becomes a deeper game.
It's not as hard as he's making it sound, though. It's literally just the D-pad. You just press a button on the D-pad. You don't have to like do a whole Star Trek roll to get this done. But it is hectic when you first start learning about that stuff to try and balance everything, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, especially in the heat of battle, like, like when I'm flying toward what are they called? Star Destroyers? Is that what they're called?
Yep. There's some Star Destroyers in there.
And they're boom, 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 like just firing at me. Then I'm like, switch over to shields, put all my shields in front, and it's like now I can take the brunt of that attack while I'm going in and trying to take out their turrets. And then the second you get past it, you're like, boom, switch the shields to the back and push L1 to repair your hull as fast as possible. I mean, it is just a lot of things to remember all at once, and I am not good at remembering things all at once or multitasking, as you guys saw me die over and over and over in the campaign.
And that also introduces an interesting point, which is that you could go shields, or you could say, let me do speed, and I'll go past
lasers.
Or you go laser. Like either way has an application if you know what you're doing with it. So like instead of saying, oh, I'm just going to let them shoot me a bunch with these lasers and pump my shield up, you could say, oh, I'm going to become more maneuverable and I'll dodge these laser blasts and fly right past the thing. And that works just as well. So it's really up to you to decide how you want to approach anything. I think that's actually really cool because you can see immediately in the performance of your ship how it changes what you're doing. Like when you switch to engines, you are immediately much faster, much more maneuverable. It's like night and day. So it's actually a valid, like useful mechanic, which is really cool.
Real quick, retro demo scenes with the 5 quid donation saying BP wristbands. I'm like, these wristbands? Any history behind them? Recently started wearing, but I've now been called midlife crisis guy. Meows from Smokey from Erie. It's like Erie, Indiana, like the old TV show. Wristbands. They are without parole wristbands.
I think I have one somewhere around here. I can go grab mine. Are you guys both wearing them? Oh, yep. Give me a sec. I'll be right back.
You can see I have old ones and new ones. There are 2 different versions of them, and I still have plenty of both. I need to start taking people's addresses and just like start sending them out to people. Actually, I'm thinking about putting them on eBay because Des was handling that for a while, and I really just want to make sure I cover my shipping charges. I'll send I'll send them. I'll make sure you guys have a listing for that. So if you were interested in having without parole GameCat wristbands, I'll make sure we get some of those out there into the world. My whole family wears them, and the ones that don't, I have disowned. So, you get the next tip?
Nico Yazawa with the $5 donation. Thank you so much. Says there is an MMR rank system that you don't see, but you will be put with people with similar MMR ratings. So it will have that balancing and stuff. That's sometimes a good thing and a bad thing. Personally, I like it when it's just scattered everywhere. Because then you get like more of a random thing. Firewall did this, and like the thing was, I went away from Firewall for so long that I came back and I was only playing against like the best of the best, and I was like, I can't compete with this. The good thing is that this has team deathmatch and it's got like the deathmatch, the dogfight stuff. So it's not like this might be more problematic with Fleet, where you kind of like have an advantage of working together and stuff. But when you're just jumping in and trying to get as many, the highest KD, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, the only downside is
Unfortunately, I've apparently lost track of all of my without parole wristbands. They're in the house somewhere, but I don't know where they are. So
it's okay. I will put some up on eBay.
I feel bad.
And if you are the highest bidder, Dave, maybe you'll get some.
Oh, okay. I don't get a shipment of them.
I'll wear 2 more. I'll wear 2 more for you, Dave.
Right. That is funny. We made so many for the last Kitchen Goes. Thanks for sticking with us, everybody. But that's and don't worry about midlife crisis anything. Like, seriously. I mean, come on. Like, I've given up on caring what people thought about me a long time ago. I'm way too old to be wearing wristbands and dressing the way I dress and doing the things that I do. Fuck them all, man. Just live your life and say fuck everyone else. Okay. Did you guys? I got to say this. So, I was flying through an asteroid field. For whatever reason, the first couple missions, or everything I've seen in the campaign so far, a lot of it was open space. Some of it had some interiors. But the first time I flew through an asteroid field in multiplayer, man, this is what I was really looking for. Because the asteroid, it's not just like, visuals. Visually it's different. This actually added so much strategy. And so not only do you have to be good enough to not slam into them, because I totally slammed into them and hurt myself more than anyone else did, right? That was so embarrassing. I was like, I'm doing so great. I'm taking down this guy and that guy and this guy and that guy. And then, boom, I was like, oh, man, I just almost killed myself because I slammed into a rock. But also, there's so much strategy involved about, if you got a lock on you, like, go, boom, fly behind this asteroid over here. It's like, just even trying to tail somebody was way more difficult, but way more fun. I mean, I love the variety in the arenas here.
The depth, man. The depth of this game, I think, has been one of the biggest surprises. I had a dude lock onto me and shoot a missile at me, and I shot the missile out of midair, and it even said missile countered.
What?
Yeah,
I didn't know you could do that.
I just use circle to counter the missiles, or I just go like crazy and start doing loops and hide behind shit.
That works pretty well too.
Usually, that one map that has like the big starship in the middle where you can go inside of it, like the interior kind of multiplayer stage. Anytime I get a missile lock on me,
I didn't play that one, but I saw you and I was like, that level looks awesome.
It's so cool. No, it's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And actually, you have enough space in the interiors to fly around, and there's a big pillar in the middle that's open where you can have dogfights and stuff. Like, I killed a guy inside that place. It was great. But if I got a missile lock on me, I would just go inside the building and like hide. And there was actually this one moment right at the end of a game where there was a dude about to kill me, locked onto me with missiles, totally like tearing into me. And all I did was I went through the interior, ducked around a corner, and killed my engines and just sat there. And he flew past me.
Nice.
And then I shot him in the ass and the game ended. It was perfect.
Well, that's great. Actually, an opponent of mine did that to me.
Yeah.
I was on his tail, and he just and he killed his engines, and I flew past him, and then he got me.
And then
what a great strategy.
That's how you do that shit.
That's a great strategy.
I love dogfighting games. I've always loved dogfighting games. Like, you guys remember
everybody...
Snoopy's Red Baron?
Red Baron on PS2?
Dude, that was incredible. I played it on Xbox 360, actually, I think, but like, great fucking
no, I'm thinking of something else. Never mind.
Yeah. I need to re-up on
PvP
coffee.
dogfighting games. Yeah, PvP dogfighting is something that everybody wanted with Ace Combat 7, besides like a full game. This is, man... I mean, this game is $40 and is AAA quality. Seems like it has, it's fun at first, has a lot of depth. There's actually like a learning curve to it, like we said. Man, I'm really thinking that this is a steal for $40 right now.
Oh, this is great.
We haven't even talked about
this. I do want to throw out a few more. I know we haven't talked so much about negatives, and there aren't that many, but there are a few.
Yeah.
Brian and I both noticed, I don't know if AJ, you saw this too. You
I
said
did.
maybe it was a camera thing, but like the shaking of the screen occasionally. There's this odd visual thing that it does where occasionally it just sort of like shudders a little bit or like
Right.
jukes you.
Yeah.
And it seems weird. I feel like they'll patch it, but it is noticeable, and it happened to both me and Brian, and I think you, AJ, as well. So some people said maybe it's a camera placement issue. Maybe
That's what I thought.
try putting it below the TV instead of above.
If you're sitting,
Yeah,
I know
if you're
nobody's
sitting.
probably standing and playing.
Why would
this,
you
but
stand? Yeah,
This is. I usually have little orientation glitches, little orientation issues when I have the camera up top and I'm sitting down. So I'm gonna try it again with the camera below my TV, and it might help that. But yes, if all three of us experience that, then it's probably a thing.
it's a thing. Yeah, it's a thing.
I
The
did
other
notice,
thing I
like-
want to say. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. The other thing I want to say real quick is that I was a little disappointed that from what I've seen so far in the campaign, all the cutscenes are flat 2D, and that's it's not the end of the world because they look pretty good, and I even with
Do
that little
really,
curved
is it me or
screen,
did they look?
no, they look really
That's
good.
good,
With
yeah.
that curved screen in front of you, you almost don't care that it's not VR or 3D because it looks really good. Like visually, the cutscenes, despite not being a thing with depth or having you're embodied in them, they look pretty goddamn good in VR anyways. So you're not going to be that upset about it. But I think some people kind of assumed based on the footage we saw beforehand, they showed stuff that looked like first person interactions, cutscenes kind of stuff in VR. There was a glimpse of this guy on a starship looking around, talking to people in front of him, and there was dialogue, and it was like a first person moving around kind of view. That's not in the game as far as I can tell. I don't know what that was.
But I mean, at least
But,
there might be cutscenes that are in 2D, but I mean, at least all the character interactions are in VR, right? I mean, being able to like go around the base and talk to everybody, and even having the mission briefing in VR.
Oh,
it's like,
okay. So you guys are way farther ahead than I am. Here's what I did.
Oh.
I had very limited time. I had to play this just right before the Gamescast because I was working all day. So I played the first two missions, the TIE Fighter, the X-Wing, intro, tutorial, game starts, and then I just went straight multiplayer. So anything about like exploring a base and talking to people, I didn't know that was a thing. That's cool, actually.
I'd actually mentioned
and so I kind of take back what I just said because I didn't realize that was part of it.
I'd
I'm
actually
not that far in.
mentioned on an old Gamescast and during the stream today that it really reminds me of like some old Wing Commander games where between missions you go and you can talk to these people or not talk to them. It's totally optional, and you just like you don't get to pick your responses, but you do have these conversations with them. You learn a little bit more about their backstory, and then the mission briefing. It's all there. So it feels like there's just enough to do to kind of flesh out to make it feel like it's more than just go into space and shoot stuff and then come back.
Yeah, well,
Go.
you've also got the character creation up front. We didn't talk too much about that. It's not super in depth, but you can create a custom character, give them a name. On
But they
both
have
the
they all
Rebel
look
and
different.
Yeah, they're all very unique.
They have multiple races. They have multiple all the genders, all the races.
They don't have all the genders. They don't have all.
Not all the genders, but well, you don't know. But but they all looked different, and that was something like right out the gate. That was something that EA promised, was that this game will not have microtransactions, and there's a lot of stuff in this game, customization wise, that I felt like this usually would have been something you would see in several other games that would have been like, oh, well, this would be, a $2 package. This would be a $2 package. This would be a loot box that you'd have to get. It was just all there and available. There are skill points that you earn from the matches. When I got my win, I got like 2 skill points, and there is like all this ship customization stuff. And, if you played the Battlefront 1 experience where it kind of has you in that just white backdrop with your X-Wing in there, and you kind of like, I think you can kind of teleport to like one other spot. You can teleport around in this, and I have a feeling you're going to have some fun with the customization if there's some exterior cosmetic stuff. It would be
Yeah,
cool.
there totally is.
Yeah, so they have that lobby, like the lobby is like that Battlefront 1 thing, except you're in the freaking Empire or Rebellion hangar And there's like
Oh,
stormtroopers
yeah.
running around in the background. There's like, you know, soldiers and stuff everywhere, just chilling. And then you've got your ship. I mean, there's stuff hanging up top. There's a lot of detail in this game. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, and just to clarify something that he was talking about there that I think didn't come across fully is like if you're in the customization screen, even in multiplayer, just like sitting in a lobby, when you flip over to the ship customization, you're sitting in the cockpit in VR and you can actually customize stuff and look around and say, I want this bobblehead here.
Nice.
Like from the menu, it just kicks you into the cockpit and you're fully there.
I haven't
Which
even
is
done
really
that yet. That's awesome.
that was surprising as hell to me. I was like, wow, because like usually customization is just like a menu, you know, like you pick what you want, but you're visually embodied and you see what you want. You pick what you want that way. Really cool stuff.
Nice. If you guys don't mind, I wanted to hit up a couple tips here. Hopefully we didn't.
Oh, absolutely.
Kate Panic, the Metachlorian Game Cat with a $3 donation saying, without parole, cat collars. Man, they're talking about some awesome merch. That is a brilliant idea. The problem is I use Teespring for everything for the most part, other than the wristbands. And so I gotta find a new place to get shit made.
We
But that's
need masks.
an excellent idea.
Can you do masks on Teespring?
They-
I would
if-
wear
if-
a without parole mask, man.
If they
any
haven't
day.
done one yet on Teespring, then they need to. And if they haven't, I will find
Redbubble
someone who does.
has it. Yeah,
Uh,
Redbubble does it.
Also, ET2K9.now with a $10 donation saying this goes towards the HOTUS replacement fund after you wear yours out from all the dogfights in space.
Excellent.
Hopefully I find mine to wear it out. That's
Yeah.
Guys, Brian, I said when you stepped away, man, I said that the amount of content and the instant satisfaction that this game has, as well as the depth, I was saying I really feel like this is a steal for $40, man. This to me, even though I've only played an hour and a half so far, I feel like I'm going to get a lot of mileage out of this game. And just want to say, for the record, so far right now, this is an absolute should we for me.
no question.
What about you? Yeah,
All the way,
wanted to
all the
ask
way.
your thoughts.
Like
Yeah.
if we had to give tentative scores, and I say this all the time, I don't give scores, but if I was going to give this a score, this is in the high 8s, maybe 9.
This
it's
is
a
at least
good-
a 9 for me.
It's
right
like
now.
a good
AJ
fucking
not
game.
liking
It's
puzzle
a good
games.
fucking game.
Like I don't like puzzle games, but I love this. I don't score games, but this is a high A. It's like, all right, sure.
If I were to.
Right. What I'll say about this is that we keep having this conversation about what is a $20 game. What do we expect from a $20 game? And this is a $40 game. And and I think we look at some of the games that have come out for $40 recently, or even not so recently on PlayStation VR, and this just sort of this just changes everything.
It elevates everything.
Right.
So here's
If
the
this was-
thing, though, because it's a flat and VR release. If they release this to us,
Right.
VR only for $60, I
Absolutely.
would be happy to pay $60. I would easily, if there was a deluxe, I'd pay 80 for this
Right.
fucking
They're
thing.
gonna make
It's
their
so
money
good.
back.
It's so good. But because it comes out as a flat screen game too, I think that for us it's incredible. But for flat screen gamers, it is a $40 game.
Can
It
you
really is a
imagine-
$40 game for them.
Can you imagine having to
and
double?
so I think that's why they had to price it that way.
Can you imagine having to double click R3 to look around the cockpit on a flat screen? I'm like, dude, when the second
Yeah.
I've got somebody targeted and they fly past me, my vision goes like this, and
What?
I'm just going with them, and I'm
Yeah.
like, and I can't imagine having to double click R3 to get that perspective. It's like, no, I don't want to. I obviously I don't play anything in pretty much anything in without VR anymore, but this wouldn't even be on my radar without VR. This is just, this was made for VR, and for $40, again, this throws everything out the window as far as pricing goes. This is one of the best values, best prices at launch value that PlayStation VR has ever had, I think.
I think so, and this is not even having played through the whole campaign and
Exactly.
like even dived into the multiplayer to the point where I can get to the ranked matches. Like I already like it enough. I'm satisfied after playing like an hour and a half because I know that it has legs, that it will stick around. So in our community, this is pre-launch, nobody's played it yet, but I was talking to Drew the other night and he was like, "Hey man, you got to get it on Firewall because this is the last night anybody's fucking playing Firewall because it's Squadrons from now on."
That's
And
a
I
good
think
point.
that it could easily become the new, when people ask us what is a good multiplayer game, you always have to keep in mind what has a community. Like Firewall is the only one you can really recommend, and maybe Honor and Duty and a couple others. But just because the community is there. And with this game, it's gonna be there for a long time. You don't
Yeah.
have to worry about that. There's people on their PCs, there's people on their
Yeah.
Xboxes, there's people on PS4 flat, there's you in VR, there's people on PC in VR. There's so many ways people are playing this game that there will always be a player base. And I love, once again, that it's just immediately cross platform. You don't have to check any boxes, and you get cross platform audio. Like I was talking to PC dudes the second I hopped in. No doing anything, no settings. It just worked.
Right.
It was beautiful. It's rare to see a thing like that. And I think it just takes, big money studio now and then to release a game like this.
I'm pretty happy about this, man. Just it's nice to. I can see why more people want these AAA games coming to VR. I see the difference, man. Right off the bat, I'm already seeing the difference.
Yeah, I think we should tackle General Obirai Ketnobi's $7 Canadian tip saying, burning question. Is Squadrons going to be a top 5 game on the next top 25 list? J Meow platinuming the Persistence is probably on the line here.
Well, I think, Rye, that is an unanswerable question until we arrive at the next top 25 debate. But
What
there's
our
a
current...
good chance. There's a good chance it could be in the top 5 or 10. I think it could easily be in the top 5 or 10.
I think there's a very good chance.
We don't know until we shout at each other for 4 hours.
So,
but we will know at some point.
So, Mike, here's a question for you. What of these 6 games is not in our top 5? Beat Saber, Firewall, Dreams, Resident Evil, Astrobot, and Saints and Sinners. Which one of these isn't in our top 5? Because there's 6 games. I just
Firewall.
Dreams.
Firewall is number 6.
No, I mean like on our current list. It's Firewall 6. Okay. Yeah. I mean,
which is crazy.
Which means something would have to be knocked out, and I could totally see this knocking one of those games off, down a notch. This, as right now, with first impressions being extremely positive, not having finished the campaign, not even knowing about some of the customization stuff that Dave is talking about, not having even played some of the stuff that AJ is talking about. I mean, so far with the limited amount that I've played, the 4 hours I've spent with this game, I'm already like, yeah, this could totally be a top 5 contender. And I'm barely scratching the surface.
The fact that you've played 4 hours, I'm jealous of the fact that you've played 4 hours. So like, that's how this game is, you want to play the fuck out of it. Yeah. And I think people will. I really think people will.
Like I said, this game is a lot deeper than I was expecting. I was expecting you jump in and there's like an arcade just kind of experience and stuff. And I feel like that would be really fun at first. It'd be easier to learn, be quicker to pick up and play. But I also feel like as I was playing this, I'm like, man, there is so much to learn in this. And yeah, like, I mean, I don't know, that prologue took me like an hour or something. And it was, I don't know, the story was really good too. I think the fact that this has a single player campaign and, you're doing a mission where you're flying through this like kind of more corridor, tighter spaces, and there's dudes like shooting missiles at the sides, and there's like flames coming out and explosions. God, there's so much to talk about. Like the level design, the cloud, like the cloud city and stuff, and the sun in the background, how good it looked and everything. There's a lot to unpack here, and you can't do that in an hour and a half.
Well, so we also don't have to. Do we have to talk about Onslaught? We don't have to talk about Onslaught.
We have to talk about no, but when you guys are ready, we
until you fall. Yeah.
Yes.
I already did the unboxing for that. That was our
that was the whole coverage of Onslaught.
Yeah. But
because I feel like this would have been the week where we talk a lot about Onslaught, but we've said everything we wanted to say. So
real quick,
Eric.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Eric Joseph with the Canadian $5 donation says Squadrons versus Eve Valkyrie. Also, is movement based on inertia like detached, or do ships fly like planes? Thanks. I mean, first of all, Squadrons all day. This is everything that I wanted about Eve Valkyrie. This game is single player campaign that isn't broken apart, that is all together and like, experience, really heavy story. And then you've got the multiplayer. There's also like the multiplayer modes of just having like team deathmatch and the quality of the levels of, I mean, granted, wasn't Eve Valkyrie a launch game?
It was, and I actually thought, I thought the presentation of Eve Valkyrie was amazing. I will say that I was totally lost, though. I would finish a mission and go, wait, what just happened? Now what? And I was like, what am I supposed to do
cut
next?
off, yeah.
It felt very confusing. Like it didn't feel like a flow. And then here we are. We got like a 7+ hour campaign where it mission to mission, stories, cinematics, just everything. And so, I mean, that alone, the fact that it actually has a substantial single player campaign and a ton of different game modes for multiplayer, yeah, there's no question about it. And now it's going to have a very active online user base. For me, there's no question. Like, if you haven't gone back to if you haven't gone back to Valkyrie, then you might as well move forward with Squadrons.
Yeah, for sure.
I like
and
the
I like
Valkyrie.
the campaign a lot from what I've played so far. Although I will say, I wish Star Wars could come up with something other than like when you play as the Empire, it's always like, well, they're defecting. Like it's kind of this thing where if you played the Battlefront 2 single player campaign, you are an Empire person who defects. And like in this one, it starts with the guy defecting. It's always the same plot. It's like, okay, well, Finn was a stormtrooper, and then he defected, and he's the main character now. That's kind of like they always do that. Oh, he's a bad guy, now he's good. But beyond that, it's a really solid, like it seems like a well done Star Wars story. And the voice acting is awesome. I really like the voice acting. There's a lot of options for your own player character in terms of which voice you want them to have. And so actually you can decide sort of how the voice acting goes in the game. You can be a hotshot, you can be like a technician, you can be all these different voice options that all have a unique personality for your own gameplay.
On a side note, I haven't gotten deep into the story. I don't know if there is like an amazing story in this yet or not,
Yeah,
but I'm pretty
very
sure
curious.
it was co-written by, I think Mitch Dyer, former of IGN. He might
Oh,
still
wow.
be.
Okay, cool.
I believe he is part of Motive, and then also Walt Williams helped write the story in this. And Walt Williams wrote one of my favorite PS3 game stories, Spec Ops: The Line. Did you guys ever play that?
Yeah,
Great stuff about it.
Yeah,
I've never
I
played it.
love
that was a
that
fantastic
story,
story.
so much. I love Spec Ops: The Line in general. And I think they co-wrote this.
Spec Ops: The Line, not to go off on a total tangent, but that's one of those games that looks absolutely so over the top generic. You're like, we've seen this really crappy military shooter like thing before 100 times, and then you play it and it just goes so off the rails and never comes back. And you're like, God damn, this is a good story. And so that's reassuring, man. I'm looking to see what where Squadrons goes then.
I'm
certainly very early in it, so I'm excited about that. Like, I want to play multiplayer with all you guys, but I kind of want to play the campaign too.
Yeah.
This is a good tip question. I'm going to do a reverse order on the tips here because I want to answer this question first. J Meow with the 499 says, on Kind of Funny today, Greg said he thinks Squadrons was originally VR only, but EA made them add flat screen to move more headsets. Do you agree or disagree? I'm going to say, based on my multiplayer experience today, talking on voice chat to people who did not have VR headsets, me and the other dude with a VR headset were both like, oh my God, this is incredible. This looks so cool in VR. And the other people weren't saying stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I think it's got a built-in sort of evangelism there, because if you're playing with people who are on flat screen and you're agog and just like in awe at like how good this fucking game is in VR, you're going to say something about it and they'll hear it and they'll think about it and be like, shit, maybe I should get a VR headset. Like, what if I could play this game I love already, like in VR? And so I think in a way it would move headsets just playing with flat screeners. I think like just being genuinely excited about the quality in VR gets other people excited who don't even care about VR sometimes. So, yeah.
I just don't think EA cares enough about VR, as they've proven over and over for the last 4 years, to really, I mean, obviously they're making some different moves now with this, and they are obviously behind the Medal of Honor game on Oculus with Respawn. And is that Respawn? It doesn't matter. So I get that, yeah, they're making a move for VR, but I honestly just think that they're too, as far as money's concerned, like that this is their motive, like it, no pun intended.
Well, yeah, I mean, so I can see like maybe they did it for that reason, but it's sort of like an accidental outcome of it, not like an intentional one.
Certainly an
like
accidental one.
they meant for it to be.
Yeah, they're just
one other tip actually. One other tip.
Oh, I didn't get a chance to answer that. I think
Go ahead.
I think this was a brilliant move, and I've always said that if there's a way to have a game both flat screen and VR that's like first person, I really think this is a really awesome way for AAA developers to get into VR
Right.
moving forward, especially like on the PS5. I really feel like this is a great way for them to do that. Resident Evil, you still get the sales, you still get a great experience in the flat version. People get to play it, but I think just having that VR support and implemented is huge and a great way to kind of break the ice between or any tension between flat screen and VR games.
Yeah, no, it's like this game would not have sold it's going to sell so many copies because
More.
Without VR support, it was destined to sell millions of copies anyway, right?
Yeah, people want a TIE Fighter versus X-Wing game competitive that you could play on a PS4. Like
Right.
everybody wants that.
Right. So there was no way this game was probably going to make its money back if it was just VR.
Right.
So I think in EA's head they're like, well, this is the only way we're going to take that plunge. But yeah, let's tackle a few Guyver's tip. I'm sorry for letting that go so long. Australian $10. Gonna watch later, but here to deliver all the important pizza money. Glad to hear Squadrons is a beast. Thank you so much, Hugh Guyver.
He said a blast. Oh, a beast. He did say a beast.
Send our love to Cousin Mac.
It's also a blast as well. It's a beast
also
and a blast.
Indeed it is. Wait, where does that bring us to in this? I mean, like we have so much.
One thing Andrew C is saying, and I can see this, like if you've played like Rogue Squadron and other Squadron games in the past, there were those kind of missions where it's like you're on the surface of Hoth, tying up an AT-AT and like going in between its legs and stuff. From what I can tell, that's not in here. This is a strict space dogfighting game. There's cool levels, but you don't get that sort of surface like above a planet kind of thing, which honestly would be great DLC. I would pay so much money for that. But I
did like the level design though. It did feel like it did feel like some kind of like multiplayer arena, even during the first mission, where like I said, the scale of that level was huge, and it kind of guides you towards this specific area, and like that whole specific area felt like a level. You know what I mean? It wasn't like you're just floating out in space. It felt like this really detailed area.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is like you've got a level. So the two multiplayer stages I played were the one with the big ship that had an interior and all these corridors and stuff, and then one that was just Cloud City. Like you said, there's no ships or anything, but it's got like the asteroid field, right? And so every map has its own way to find cover and be sneaky and like work through stuff, even if it's just space.
Yeah,
as opposed to like a place.
Shout out to our dude, Robbie B, the English Game Cat. Thank you so much for the $5 donation, saying, well, I just played my first multiplayer on Squadrons. Absolutely incredible, even on the OG. That's really good to hear.
Confirmation.
Right? Because we're definitely worried that like there was going to be too much blur or something like that. And I'm so glad to hear that he's loving it. Possibly my favorite PSVR multiplayer. Awesome. Thank you so much for that feedback, Robbie B.
Robbie B also has a special surprise for you guys and for the cats coming up pretty soon. Something he showed me that's absolutely
I don't know about
hilarious. No, you're gonna love it.
That's right. I need to check my email.
But that is awesome, man. So yeah, anything else? I mean, guys, you still have time to pre-order this in North America. Reviews are coming in pretty hot right now. And yeah, if you're interested in this game, if you're on the fence on this game, I say absolutely get it. Even if you don't have a HOTAS, get it. It's fun with the DualShock. I'm gonna have to say I highly, highly recommend this game.
I honestly think HOTAS folks might end up being a little disappointed because it seems to me like as of now, unless they patch something in at midnight or tomorrow, when you were playing the HOTAS, it didn't seem right to you, right? It didn't feel right. And I think so. What I was talking about with Ace Combat 7 versus this game, about the feeling of the controls where like when you pick it up, there is a default setting where you feel right and you don't have to tweak anything. This game doesn't exactly hit that nail on the head. Right. And so all the control options feel a little bit off. And I think that probably translates to the HOTAS as well, because it handles the same way that the Battlefront mission did. Almost exactly, right? Like the controls are very similar to the Battlefront mission.
I feel like the Battlefront mission's different.
It's a little different, but this is not as full-on flight sim as
It's literally just one thing that is feels different.
Did anyone check the patch notes to see if like we did get a day one patch update?
We might. I mean, I haven't checked.
Yeah, there might be a day one
Or
patch.
because if it's still version 1.0, then maybe day one patch hasn't dropped yet. And
Yeah, well, so what I'd like to see is like on the HOTUS to not have it mimic the DualShock 4 in the way that DualShock 4 like doesn't feel right exactly. I'd like it to just feel right. I'm hoping that when they patch it, I can plug my HOTUS in and that's like the way to play. And eliminates any of those little quibbles I have with the DualShock 4 controller options unless you go in and like tweak everything. Right. So I shouldn't have to worry about R1 and L1 not being the roll buttons if I've got a HOTUS. You know what I mean? Like
the thing is, when I'm streaming, I don't want to have the entire stream be me going through the settings, testing things out,
figuring it out. Yeah,
I wanted to so I decided just to get used to it, and I did feel that I was starting to get used to it. But I agree that it's not out of the box. But I didn't get to experiment with messing with anything. So,
well, and real quick, I'm going to answer a question here. Somebody said, "Are there mapping options with the HOTUS?" Every controller in this game has mapping options. You can remap every single button on every single thing. So yes, you can.
Yeah, that's crazy. No other game does that.
Right.
Yeah.
PSVR
but it's a pain
Zest,
he has to go there.
10 quid donation saying taco top up. I like it. Happy Squadrons Day to my fellow UK cats and soon all cats around the world. All the cats around the world. So glad you guys love it. And what a great time for PSVR. Certainly makes up for Onslaught earlier this week.
Holy yeah.
If this disappointed, we all would have been sitting here very, very sad. But man, this makes up. This 100% makes up for it. Thank you so much for the taco top up, PSVR Zest, and also shout out to 97
Skynet, the T800 Game Cat. Meow 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 meow.
$6.99 in funny money from Canada.
Teamwork.
He says, "Don't get to watch the live often, and got to take off. Got to hear about Squadrons. Can't wait for my physical copy to arrive, dude. It's gonna be great. Can't wait to see you in there. I can't wait to see all you guys in there. There isn't really private lobby matchmaking, but hopefully they'll add that. For now, there's some way probably for us to all play together. I'm not sure."
Can I just say this is really interesting. Abe Lincoln, who we love and respect, he's been around forever. He says, I do totally fine with the moves on No Man's Sky. I wish it was an option for this game. I mean, don't get me wrong. We always want to have as many options as possible.
You would die so fast.
But
you would fucking die. There's no way. Literally no way.
There's so much going on, and I mean, it would be cool to be pushing buttons like on the dash or on the what's it called? Not the dashboard. What's it called? In the cockpit, pushing buttons like the actual things, or even just using the move buttons and and having like a virtual flight stick. But man, there is just so much going on, and it's been a long time since I played any kind of flight game with this much. With this many mechanics to remember and have to work with and multitasking under the hood, I just can't imagine doing it. And again, I want all the options that anybody wants ever, but that just sounds like it would be really, really difficult and really excessive. But interesting perspective for sure.
Blind Vision X says, Dave, Brian, AJ, just map yaw to the twist stick and roll to the left and right stick. Then it is Ace Combat Feel. That's like I said, the one thing. That's it. Problem solved. That's going to feel really good. HOTUS fixed.
That's
excellent.
Awesome. That's
well,
great.
Well, then it also might fix the DualShock 4 for me too.
Yeah, probably.
Although I just want R1 and L1 to be my roll buttons. But
that's like I like the classic feel of that. Like I see what you're going for, like the classic thing. But
I want to play Descent is what I want to play. Descent essentially,
I feel
like Starblood Arena.
I was going to say Starblood Arena too. Yeah. But that's.
But I can get used to it. However, it's good. It's still a good game, regardless.
Yeah. So,
do we want to switch gears and talk a little bit about Until You Fall, the other giant game this week? It's not as giant, but I think for us, that's the other kind of no-brainer this week. Like, a lot of stuff has been coming out, but Until You Fall is just like a slam dunk smash hit. Everybody likes this game. It's cheap. It's well priced. It looks gorgeous. It's like a 1 gigabyte download.
Yeah.
Compared to 22 gigabytes. It's crazy. So what are you guys' initial thoughts on Until You Fall?
I was going to say that's not the only amazing game to come out this week.
It's not.
Well, Squadrons wasn't the only amazing game to come out this week. I was going to say Until You Fall. We got to give some major
roll back and give him his intro
to this game, because this game came out and everybody, just incredible. Delirium Drew, a bunch of people were telling me, AJ, you got to play this game. You're going to absolutely love it. Triangulator, my dude. They said that you're going to love this game. And man, it is crazy. I mean, it is, I don't even know where to begin.
You seem at a loss for words. So here's where to begin. It's a combat roguelike game with an incredible art design.
Someone who's never at a loss for words.
It just pops out of the headset at you. This neon dark fantasy, really, really goddamn cool art style. And everything runs so crisp, so perfect. It's like a gorgeous goddamn game. And you wonder to yourself, how can this only be 1 gigabyte? Like, how the fuck did they pull that off? But Shell Games have shown like this mastery over the form, where like the style is just so strong, and you immediately see this game and you're drawn in. Even if you don't know what it is, you're like, I want to play this. And when you play it, it's good. And that's kind of like what happened with I Expect You to Die. Like, that intro just sells you, like the VR James Bond intro. You're like, these people know what they're fucking doing. And like, it's a very polished game top to bottom. Nothing really bad to say about it. It's great. Incredible. I love it. AJ, anybody else want to say anything?
Dying.
Are you just like waiting, letting me talk?
I'm trying to see what Brian's doing over there. He's doing.
Brian, what are you waiting for? What are you doing?
I was waiting. I was letting you exhaust all your entire vocabulary. I was like, he's gonna run out of words eventually.
I'm bringing out all the SAT words, guys. Okay, this game's not lugubrious at all.
Anyone? No. It's he had a few more left to go. Just had to push him out the door.
Impeccable.
There you go. No, so what I love about Until You Fall is that the first thing I'm in there, and it's basically telling you, swipe here, and to swing your sword to take down the enemy. It's like, okay, well, that's cool. You got to do that pretty fast. And then it says, okay, while you're doing that, now block here and swing. And block here and swing, and block here and swing. And I'm like, okay, well, here we go. Brian's not good at multitasking. Let's see how this goes. And like, that took a little while to warm up. And then the next thing you know, they're like, okay, you have to swing quickly, swing faster, and you have to block faster in different directions as you're swinging. Oh, and by the way, now we're going to ask you to dodge. like actually physically dodge your head. Dodge left, dodge right, down. And I was like, this feels like Dance Dance Revolution or some shit like that. Like, I'm no longer playing a sword fighting game. I'm literally just trying to. It is 17 quick time events happening at once, and it's physical. And I'm like, holy shit! There's so much happening.
I think you're really spot on comparing it to a rhythm game, honestly, because like once you learn the patterns with certain enemies, like, so it's just like Beat Saber. So the first time you play Beat Saber, this pattern is too hard for you. You can't understand it. What's going on? It's too thick, too fast. All this shit in my face. And then after a while, you get the hang of it. Same exact thing with like mini boss fights in this game. Because there are patterns that they attack with that you learn. And after a while, it's like second nature. You're just like, block, 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 fuck you, loser. And you just move on. And that's the cool roguelike part of it. Because like, as you get more powerful, you also are gaining a knowledge of the game. And so like, even with a cool ass axe or a sword or whatever, that's not going to help you beat a guy if you don't know how to beat him. And once you learn, you're golden. And I think that's really the cool gameplay loop. Like, it makes you want to keep going back and getting killed until you learn, how do I beat this motherfucker? And then you do it. So good.
We talked about Swordsman earlier, and Swordsman, what I loved about it was this. You just get up, you play it, and you do this, like, it's just like this sloppy brawl that you just get, and like and like, I don't know, it's messy. It gets messy in Swordsman. But yeah, it's like got, the weapons have weight, and there's no like anything really guiding you with the combat. In a way, it's like Gorn, like just this crazy arena combat with like these really good physics. Like you said, Until You Fall is much different in that it plays almost like a rhythm game where it gives you these things. And I was honestly worried about that at first. I was like, is this going to be, there's only one small thing that I both agree and disagree with, that you said it's like a quick time, like all these quick time events, because yeah, it is a lot of, it is very guided to where you have to block in this direction, and do that. But my favorite thing about that, by the way, when you block and stuff, it does deal damage. So, and eventually it stuns the enemy, and then it gives you the opportunity to do a critical strike. And if you do this critical strike, it takes down one of their little gems and to their health and stuff. So they have shield, and then they have like a life bar behind it. And you have to basically play around that. But what really one of the biggest surprises for me in this, and pleasant surprises, I should say, is that you don't have to just sit there and block. It tells you to swipe, and you swipe. It is not like that. What I love about it is that, you, like he said, you can block and counter at the same time. You can go, it's got like a guide for it, but you can go around it. It's just like, that's just the basic thing.
Telling you where the critical hits are. Like, if you swing this direction with force, you'll get a big hit on the guy, but you can still smack him with your sword anytime, like without that prompt. You don't need the prompt.
It's not going to take his health though. It's going to take down his shield kind of thing, like his guard. And then you stun him, and then it gives you the option for that critical strike, and that takes the health down. If you do a light strike, it takes like half their health. If you do a big one, it takes like all their thing. But I absolutely love that. And there was one thing about this game where I was afraid, as you go through each level, you do have the option. It gives you like 3 different items to choose from. You can add health, you can add like weapons, or you can add like things to like the sockets in your weapons and stuff. And one of the things about this game I was worried about at first was I was like, this is kind of going to make me repeat this same beginning part 100 times, and it might get a little too repetitive. But then once I went through as far as I could, and died, and then it says that's what the whole game is like called, Until You Fall, because you go as far as you can go and then you die. But then you go back to this like main menu thing where you can unlock new weapons, and these new weapons have new abilities. You can level them up, and you get stronger. And then like every time you die, you add up, and then you get even further and further and further in the game. And right as I think this game is going to get like repetitive or something, or at least I did the first time, it absolutely negated that by introducing new mechanics, new gameplay mechanics, new weapons. And the weapons are so good. The first thing you do is you get in there, Brian. You get in there and you look and you see your body. I was going to
talk next.
And Dave, you look at and you see your it's got the full IK, and the art design is absolutely beautiful.
Neon arms, it's so cool.
And the weapons are gorgeous. Everything looks so good for a fucking 1 gigabyte game. I can't even believe this once again.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not cutting you off. Continue.
But yeah, no. And then, like I said, there is a really satisfying, it is a challenging game, but it is a really satisfying game loop and really addicting, and makes you want to go further and further. And the further you get, the more new stuff they introduce that makes it more fun.
Well, the great thing about exactly what you're saying is that you go in and you level up your character, or you're leveling up your weapons, and then you head back out and you get further. And it's always there's always a little question mark in my head going, am I getting better at playing the game, or are these weapons helping me be better at the game? And I think every time I head out, it's a little bit of both. And
Here's
love
the answer,
that
though.
combination.
I mean, part of it is that you are getting better, because regardless of how good your weapons are, you still have to block in the right pattern at the right time.
So fast,
too. I can get a brand new mace that looks awesome, but it's slower to block with than my dagger. And so that's not necessarily an upgrade for me if I have that in my offhand. Like, you want to keep a really fast weapon in your offhand so you can keep up with those really quick. Later bosses, like when you get to the actual first boss, I won't say later because I haven't been there, but like you have to do this 1, 2, 3 block, like ching, ching, ching. That. And it's really cool, but if you have a slow weapon, it's hard to pull these things off. And so, like, it's not just that you get better weapon-wise, it's that you know which weapons to use in what scenarios, because you've been through it already. And I think that the thing about so people say it's repetitive, right? But the way it works is like a good roguelike where you like Brian said, there's the balance of I become better, but I get a little bit of better weapons and stuff too. It's
You
like
get
the Dead
stronger.
Cells. It's like the Dead Cells formula versus like Spelunky. And I love Spelunky, but in Spelunky you don't get permanent upgrades. There is not a permanent upgrade
It's
available.
a roguelike
In
instead
Dead
of a
Cells,
roguelite.
in Dead Cells you get permanent upgrades and it's cool. You get new weapons that you have access to that are better than what you had before. And that's exactly the loop here. And in a way, I mean, I feel like this is kind of our VR Dead Cells. It's got that same dark fantasy, like neon, colorful vibe. It's really cool, and I can't imagine they didn't think about that game when they made this. But it doesn't get boring because when you encounter an enemy that kills you, your whole mission is I need to get back to him and figure out what I did wrong. And everything else, you're ignoring half these guys that you're just killing. You're like, I need to get to this dude and figure out the formula, the tactics to beat this particular dude. And that's kind of how these roguelikes work. Like, you just keep banging your head at the wall until you figure it out. And it's very satisfying in this particular game. I think everyone will really like it. Probably.
I think so. I think I don't know if everyone will like it, but
A
certainly,
lot of people really like it.
yeah, it scratches an itch for sure. There's a tip I want to make sure we get from Kate Panic, the Metachlorian Game Cat, $3 donation saying new title until you're overshadowed by Squadrons. It is unfortunate because this at first I was like, oh man, okay, Onslaught wasn't nearly the game we thought it was going to be. At least we have Until You Fall, and then just a couple days later, it's like it got. I mean, literally every game that's come out in the last 3 months has now been overshadowed by Squadrons. So yeah, thank you for the donation, and I totally agree.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have a trailer for Until You Fall by any chance?
I mean, the one that I've been playing ad nauseum for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Am I not? Is my stream behind? Oh,
no,
my bad. Okay.
I paused. I paused the title screen because I got sick of watching the same 42 seconds over and over and over.
Apparently,
again.
everyone is sick of me talking about this game. So.
No, I thought it was fine, Dave. I thought
No,
it was
everybody's
fine.
like, do you think Dave has anything to say about this?
I've got a lot to say about it too, man. I mean, this game is like supposed to be like really based on this like synth wave fantasy music. And I love I've been listening to this soundtrack up until release. There's a song called like Unrelenting Fury. With that being said, there is a tiny, this game isn't perfect in every single way. It is kind of annoying how the soundtrack kind of like loops, and like when you do a level, like I kind of wish the full song would just play sometimes versus like you kill all the enemies, then it does the breakdown, and then you start the next level and it restarts again.
Do you think there's
like,
a part of like the whole roguelite experience where it's you die and it starts over, you die and it starts over? It's like it's sort of that repetition is sort of infused into the way the music plays out too. Like there's just something that like kind of works about it for me.
Yeah, so it is repetitive, but every time you beat a stage and you hear that like da, 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 that song coming in, you're like pumped to get to the next one. It doesn't feel repetitive in the game at all, for me at least.
it's not that it's repetitive or anything, because I love the music and stuff. It's just the way that it kind of just stops and starts and stops and starts that I feel is like it just, I don't know. I would rather just, like, I have told you guys how much important it is for a soundtrack to be good for me, and I love the soundtrack.
Yep.
And knowing like the full songs here, I'm like, these songs are so good. I just want to hear them playing while I'm in this section, and then when I get to the next section, a new song starts and stuff.
Maybe that's not. Maybe that's why I'm not there with you, because I don't know the full songs like you do. I only know what's been playing in the game. Real quick, X Pacer X with the $5 donation saying, "Sorry guys, I really got to get back to Squadrons and squash the rebellion. Nanu, live long and prosper." Did you just get a Mork and Mindy reference?
Yeah, Mork and Mindy reference and a little bit of good stuff.
Wow, excellent! Thank you so much for the donation. Yeah, man. I think actually to expedite the rest of the show, I think we need to move on, because I think we have a few more things we want to talk about.
For sure.
And I would like to finish by 9, because not only do I have to go visit Mr. Jeremy King on the other side of the city, but then I want to come right back and play some fucking Squadrons with you guys.
Yeah, let's go.
Yes.
Let's go. But real quick, what else do we have to discuss? AJ, what's next on the list?
Yeah, I mean, I could talk about that so much more. We've got
Oh, actually, can we real quick say everybody? It's a should we?
Yes.
I think everybody says it should be.
Until you
Until
fall.
you fall.
Absolutely. No
Get
question.
it. It's very good.
Yeah.
You'll like it.
it's a great value. You know, the only thing is if you don't like a challenge,
Yeah.
if you don't like a challenge, it might be a little too frustrating because it is challenging. As to where Swordsman, it's like them and Swordsman are opposites. Everyone's been asking me what is better, Swordsman or Until You Fall. I think
Totally
technically Until You Fall is more fleshed out.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
better.
deeper.
It's a better
It is
game.
better. Yes, but some people might just want to jump in and sword fight and mess around with like physics and stuff. I feel like Swordsman is more physics based
Yeah.
and has this medieval setting thing. So it really depends on what kind of sword fighting game you want.
Yeah,
But
I don't think Until
if
You
you-
Fall
if-
is going to satisfy the Blade and Sorcery crowd by any stretch of the imagination. It's a wildly different. Yeah.
it's very, very different. It's not as like Until You Fall is not as physics based as it is like this arcade style gameplay. And then Swordsman is the opposite. So I really think it's like depends on, but from a technical level, like which one is technically better? Definitely Until You Fall.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the last thing that we have here, there's actually a couple sales going on.
Lightning round.
So we are gonna do what we usually do here, and do the PSVR's Got Talent judges table. We're gonna go through a couple games on sale, and we're gonna give them 3 thumbs up, 3 thumbs down, or it's gonna be all mixed in between.
Maybe 6 thumbs or 6. Who knows?
Yeah. Starting with, let me pull it. I gotta get the prices. Maybe Dave, you can help me out here.
Do you have a list for me somewhere? Or what am I
Shadow
looking at?
Legend is currently on sale.
How much?
For the first time ever.
For the first time ever, Shadow Legend is 40% off for $14.99.
Price. Go get it. It's fun.
I posted this on Twitter earlier. I was like, "Do you like feeding, or have you ever fed a horse a carrot?" And then I was like, "Have you ever fed a horse a carrot on VR?"
Nice. I like that.
Brian Piccolo says, I hope O-Shape doesn't get lost in the shuffle. I think it's surprisingly good.
Agreed.
I haven't had a chance to play this yet, but I got a key for it, and I'm actually really excited having seen you guys play it. Just real quick, should we say, seems like a should we also? O-Shape? Or
O-Shape?
no, what do you think, AJ? Do you have more thoughts? I haven't played it, so it's all on you.
love
AJ.
the gameplay, but I only like a couple of the songs.
So
I
it's a
gotta
music
spend more
issue.
time.
It's
I
a
think
music issue.
I think it's definitely a get when it's like on sale or something. It's also super physical. I mean, if you want a fitness game, oh my god, O-Shape is one of the most physical games I've ever played.
I can't believe we almost finished talking about Shadow Legends before changing the topic. O'Shea, I think.
Sorry, it got brought up. I think it's a relevant thing to talk about.
A couple things. Then watch the trailer that's on right now, because like first of all, you have to know that it's your kind of game. Because some people are gonna look at this and go, "That's dumb. I don't want to do that." And I totally get that. It's just like not your kind of game. But if you look at the trailer, it's as good as it looks in the trailer. It plays just as good as you think it does, and it feels great. And so if you're even remotely interested in it, then yes, I think it's a should we. We talked about it way more extensively last week, right? On last week's show.
Did we extensively talk about O-Shape? I hadn't played it.
I
hadn't played it by then.
Yeah, we did talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's going on, AJ?
Actually,
did you hear? Is that helicopter back?
What? I was out part of the show last time. Maybe you guys talked about it when I was out.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah.
Possibly.
What's going on over there? You taking your headphones off? You're looking around. I feel like you're about to be abducted by aliens. What the fuck is happening, AJ?
You know me, man. I'm always hearing weird shit out the window. I had freaking crazy ass helicopter flying by not too long ago. I don't know. I was just hearing something I couldn't tell.
Not a normal ass helicopter, crazy ass helicopter. Goddamn.
It sounds like somebody's using a weed whacker and like sticking it in the ground and just letting it go just constantly.
Yeah. So my apologies if you guys already covered O-Shape. Good game though. It sounds like a good game. So,
but Shadow Legend, $15, man. Like I said, 4 hours long only, but it is like super high quality, super interactive. If you want a game, like what I love about Shadow Legend is just the level of interactivity in that game is insane.
You can pick up everything. You can grab like loot everything. It's so cool.
Yeah, I love climbing in Shadow Legend. If it's like
Yeah.
it's like, oh man, because a lot of it is basically a treasure hunt. I would say 80% of
Right.
Shadow Legend is a treasure hunt where you're like, I need to find these runes that are scattered around each area. And really, you walk into an area and you just better devote the next 20 minutes of your life to searching that area from top to bottom, because you're like, oh, there's a rune way up there, like, but I can't climb up there, but maybe I can shoot it down with an arrow. Oh, there's one all the way up there, and I can climb this building to get to it. Like, it is just a big treasure hunt, and I love it, because I don't feel like it really falls into any game genre that I've ever seen before. I've never just been like, oh, I'm going to search this environment and figure out interesting ways to get these runes into my hands, because it doesn't seem like that from the trailers. It's like, oh, it's kind of like a Skyrim like game, and it's not. It feels very much like a treasure hunt game, and I love that. And for this price, absolutely, thumbs up.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's all get it.
Sorry, I just went on a
We
really
haven't
long
already.
rant about that.
It's okay. Nobody in the chat is going to accuse you of going on too long.
The combat isn't as good as Golem or Swordsman or
No.
anything else. The combat isn't the strong suit, but like Brian said, it's just a good fantasy adventure. Tons of stuff to interact with.
Yeah. First time being on sale, $15, man. Is that what it is?
Good price. Yeah, good price.
Yeah. And if you want to platinum it, it's like another 2 hours, so you get like 6 hours out of it. It's a fun platinum to get, I think.
I don't know what. I haven't gotten the platinum because there's one book I'm missing. One book.
Let's get Scott Jesco, PSN Harry Fellow, the PSVR Game Cap for life, with the 10 quid donation, saying, watch when I get home as per usual, so before you go, have some pizza money and I'll get some Star Wars Squadrons practice in when my copy comes in the post. Meow.
Yeah.
Meow. Thank you so much to future Scott Jessica, who's watching this later on. We
That's
appreciate
quite a
you.
fucking sound you just made, AJ. That's gonna haunt my dreams. That sound you just made. Yeah,
It's
so
kind of
what's-
usually how Brian and I greet each other when we call each other.
This is true, actually. When Dave calls me, it takes every fiber of my being not to answer with "Meow." But every time AJ calls, it's like "Meow." Yeah, it's very, very strange.
Brian always doing some long ones lately.
Is that really how you guys answered the phone?
Yeah,
I don't think we've ever.
said hello.
How come I'm not included in this? Nobody ever meows at me, man.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Just
How
like,
did it start?
Dave, what's
How-
up, Dave?
How did it start? We've been
say
doing it
like
for
that.
years.
I'm like Dave Station.
Dave Station.
AJ, I feel like we've been doing this for years. Like, it's like I can't believe you just told people. I feel like it's a dirty secret we just revealed.
Behind the scenes, guys. Behind the scenes.
Um,
All right, what's next in this sale, AJ? What do we got behind Shadow Legend? What's up?
Next is a god awful game called Mervels.
Don't influence
made by
the jury.
same
Wow.
people.
One of the worst games anyone's ever heard of, according to AJ, for sure.
How much does it go for?
Terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't care. Don't buy it. I'm looking up the price.
You got to tell the price. You have to
I
tell
just don't have the
price.
price.
It's usually
written down.
$20. I'm going to guess it's probably $6 because that's usually what it
This
goes on
game's
sale
usually
for.
$20.
Yeah.
What
Don't
the
get mad.
hell,
Listen,
man?
listen,
And
let's-
It's like
let's-
it's
talk-
like a campaign. It's like a 5 or 6 hour campaign.
Let's
right?
talk
God.
about what we expect from a $20 game.
No,
This
I'm
is a
out.
full-fledged
I'm out.
N64 adventure.
It's not even
No
worthy of being an
Mervels.
N64. I'd rather play I'd rather play any
Yes, it's
of these
$6.
N64 games. Don't ask me why I have these just sitting around. You're kind of
Shoot,
responsible
AJ.
for it.
Yeah.
I would rather play
You
these
always
N64
have-
games
You always
than
have
Mervels.
cartridges nearby.
It's $6. Okay, $6, and I gotta say, it's not the best 3D platformer you'll ever play. Not by a long stretch.
I would rather
it's-
play this than Mervels.
I
But
would
that,
too.
but that
Which
costs
is
10
mine. I would
times
rather-
as much.
I would rather pay 10 times as much than pay $6 for Mervels.
Me too, but still,
probably.
for what-
Wasting
for-
money
for
is
what-
still wasting money.
No, I had fun with Marvels. It's super low budget. It's got some major problems with voice acting's garbage, and like the character controls are not super refined. But there's an upgrade system where you have to buy new swords, and it's a very long campaign. And for $6, I hope people in the chat, man, I need.
I'm
yes.
just roasting it for fun to get a rise out of you, but I actually think for $6 Mervels is a good deal. I would say
People
Damn
in
it,
the
I
Dave.
would
chat.
say Mervels.
You were the chosen one.
I need to hear from
No.
people in the chat.
You're the one who actually hates it. Like I didn't have a terrible time with
It's
that.
terrible.
That minecart stage is fun as shit. AJ, shut your mouth.
No, it's not. It's the worst minecart level
Okay,
I've ever
fine,
played in
fine,
my
fine.
life.
Okay,
It's so slow.
Yeah.
So can
K
we?
Panic with the $2.99 says petition for Mervels HOTUS support.
Sure.
Yeah, that'll
Yeah.
make it a top 10 game.
I love Vitruvius, but I will petition to have that game removed from the store.
Can we get a thumbs up, thumbs down? I'm giving it a thumbs up for $6. I'm absolutely giving it a thumbs up.
I'm giving a 1 thumb up
Chat, help me out here. Help me out here, chat.
So we're
Summon the
totally
cats.
divided. You and I are opposite, and Dave's right in the middle.
Yeah, pretty much. What's next?
Next is Time Carnage. Say
Oh
it, Brian.
no, Time Carnage.
That's it.
He
Time
does-
Carnage.
He does it the best.
Time Carnage. I wonder if I
That
didn't
is
have a
for
trailer for this.
$5.99. This game is a wave shooter, and it has nice detail, but it's so blurry you can't even see it.
It's
I
one
don't
of
I
those
don't
games
really
like The Last of Us 2 that makes you shoot dogs.
Ugh. Yeah, that's
You gotta shoot
yeah,
dogs.
I forgot
in
about
this
that.
game. I don't like
Come on,
shooting dogs,
There's-
man. I fucking
Oh.
hate shooting dogs.
There's a
Bad
ton
news.
of variety in Time Carnage, from the weapon variety to the levels. The levels themselves, they're wildly different from place to place.
Oh
the
yeah,
enemies
you
are
can shoot
different.
a Velociraptor with a revolver and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
And I know some people like this game a lot. I know that's the case. But man, the fact is that there is a shield in front of you, like it's like 3 feet in front of you. You can see it in the trailer that like it shows up when enemies get too close. So it basically kills any immersion that you might have had, any danger, any threat that like these things coming at you might present. And I was so bored that I can't. I just like, no, skip it, man. We have so many good wave shooters, and this was like really late to the party and didn't really offer anything new other than, environments and stuff. Yeah, not a fan. I'd skip it. Thumbs down.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a thumbs down also. Although
But they won a
it is
BAFTA
fun.
award.
What? They won a fucking BAFTA for that?
No, it was, I
Okay.
don't know. It was like a Swedish, I don't
Okay.
know,
No,
Burger
I know
King
it.
drive-through award, something.
I know what BAFTA is, but that's actually not a Swedish Burger King drive-through award. That's a respectable award, and I don't know why they won it. But what I'm saying is the only satisfying part of this game is what I just said, shooting a Velociraptor with a revolver. Because the ragdoll mechanics, when you shoot that Velociraptor with that revolver, are insanely hilarious. But that's the only cool thing about the game, because the ragdoll physics are just stupid fun. But the game's not good.
I would much rather ride a Velociraptor than
Yes.
shoot one.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Do we have
Buy
an
our
option?
park
Is that
instead,
an
everybody.
option?
That's my thing. Buy our park.
Loading Human Chapter 1 for $4.49. I haven't played
I
this.
think I might finally buy Loading Human. 'Cause
I've said
Brian
this
always,
the last
Brian
5
always
times.
says this is good. Or
Oh,
wait, is
yeah.
that the assembly that's good?
The assembly
Or
is
both?
great.
You like both?
Yeah,
You like both?
Well, I like the assembly for full price. I like Loading Human for this price.
Okay,
For $40, it was way too much at launch. But for how much is it?
$4.
Yeah, it's very much a first-person point-and-click adventure game. It's very slow-paced. There's no action, but there's something enjoyable about it, and you get to pick up and throw so much stuff, especially in the very first room. And then you get to shave
Alright.
your face in VR. It's like, ooh,
Okay, I'm gonna do a face shaving stream.
you
when
can
I
blame
buy
me.
this game.
It's not great, but
I
for
will
$4
do this.
or $5,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
I'll
I
actually
gotta be
I'll put the
honest,
webcam
Brian.
on and I'll shave in real life at the same time to finally shave.
I bought the assembly as per your recommendation. As for a couple people's recommendation, actually, not just you.
I feel
And
like you're about to say it sucks ass and you
I,
hate it.
I played the first 5 minutes of the assembly, and I was like, "What is this?" Like, it was so weird. I don't know. It was very strange.
Yeah, you got to get past the first 5 minutes. It gets so
Okay.
good. Yeah.
I figured. I figured it had to
Did
be
you guys
right.
get this email from Sean Whiting over at Rec Room?
I did.
Rec
Is it-
Room, let me
Is this
I'm in.
Can you check to see if
let
this
me-
is embargoed information or not? Because this looks kind of fun.
What is this? Is stuff happening right at the 3-hour mark of our goddamn show when we're supposed to be fucking ending?
Yeah, don't worry,
Okay,
we'll get
what is-
there.
I got it too. Goddamn. That's big fucking news.
That's what I'm
Oh my
saying.
God.
Just I wanted to make sure it wasn't embargoed before we talked about it.
It does not appear to be at all.
All right, do you want
Oh,
to break?
wait a second. This is not exactly what it says it is.
Right. I mean,
But okay,
the
yeah.
headline certainly seemed awesome.
If that's a clickbait headline.
a
But
little bit. Do you want to let people in on what's going on here?
sure, who wants to read this thing?
Not me. I don't understand it.
Okay, greeting YouTube kings and queens.
Oh.
This is Sean from Rec Room. I shouldn't read the whole thing.
No.
But it's
No.
basically he's just saying we're focusing on some cool rooms that people have made that are inspiring a lot of interest. They're about to launch on Quest 2 as well as Xbox, and they list all the platforms you can play on, which is a ton of them pretty much anything. You can play on your phone if you want to. But they're calling out these rooms that are based on Fall Guys and Among Us, which are two hugely popular games. If you guys don't know, Among Us is kind of like a Werewolves Within style, like social deduction game, and then Fall Guys is like a battle royale based on Japanese game shows. But they're super popular, and there are rooms for that in Rec Room, and they're just kind of highlighting those and saying like, "Hey guys, this is a huge thing. People are playing these rooms. Rec Room's cool." And
there's something else at the bottom that really has my attention even more.
So you hit that. What's that? I missed that.
It says Room Dark Souls.
Yes, it also says Gravity Falls and Light. I don't know what those are.
So big.
The images are broken.
Some cool shit coming to Rec Room.
I think in there actually, if you want to play Fall Guys in Rec Room, I believe that room is already publicly available.
Nice.
So
very cool. All right. Do we have any more sales?
There are 2 more sales.
Okay, loading human real quick. Thumbs up from me. And neither of you guys played it. Is that right?
I can't say anything.
All right, I'm not going to buy it. There's too many other games right now.
I might. Yeah, there are too many.
Sure.
Yeah.
Trackmania Turbo for $9.99.
It's a so tough one, right? Because you just want the whole game to be in VR, but I did enjoy what's in there. I don't know.
This game got too boring too fast for me. It was okay for a little bit, but then it gets really boring, and repetitive, really fast.
Okay.
Thumbs down. Finally, this is going to be a sad one for me. No Man's Sky for $37.99. I mean, I love that game.
Expensive. Buy it physical.
but you can get a physical copy.
No. This is why people are going to get screwed with the PS5 digital only. Because you can buy a copy of No Man's Sky in any GameStop for fucking $15 probably. It's really cheap. It's really cheap on physical. And so when they sell it for $37 on digital, it's a deal, I guess. It's better than the full price, but just go to a store and buy one, or order one online. You'll be fine.
Yeah, just a heads up, it's been on sale. I mean, so many times. I'm looking at psprices.com right now. It's been on sale for $25. I mean, countless number of times. So I mean, I would say save your money for now. If you don't own it already, wait for another sale. It goes on sale all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we did our best to stretch this out as long as possible.
No,
hopefully you guys don't have
always
too much longer.
3 hours.
Dude,
to wait.
It's not even in our control anymore.
I know.
I wasn't stretching shit, man. I wanted to get out of here because I want to go play Squadrons.
Me too. I want to eat something though. That's a big thing.
Definitely.
Let's get some tacos. We've
I
talked
forgot
so
about
much about tacos. I need
spaghetti tacos
tonight.
Let's do this thing. I had tacos last night, but I'll eat tacos 2 nights in a row.
Tonight, guys, midnight. Join our Discord down below. We're going to be getting in some Squadrons actions. I don't know, Brian, Dave, last time you guys know. We get a huge party chat going, and it's chaotic, but it's so much fun, man. Make sure you guys come join our giant Squadrons party chat and jump into the chaos.
It's going to be just like this, full-on party lights in your mind. You'll feel great about it. You'll have a great time. Literally, though, everyone is playing Squadrons tonight at midnight. Get in there. If you guys haven't pre-ordered it, there's no good reason I can tell you not to. It's good. Get it. Get in there. Let's play.
I guess that covers it.
And then a little bit of... I'm going to see if I can do this at the same time. Oh, I can.
Okay. Well, listen, we want to shout out everybody who hung out and watched the show tonight. We really appreciate you all sticking around. Obviously, everyone who commented, and even more obviously, everyone who donated tonight. You guys are really generous. We really, really appreciate it. Yes, we know, AJ, you have cartridges all over. Is that mine too?
He's got all your games in his house.
Oh God! I hope you have room because I got a lot more coming your way. Oh my God! Yes, Ninja Gaiden. We also thank you so much to everybody who donated. We were really, really generous tonight. We really, really appreciate it. It's been kind of an expensive couple weeks over here, so it's awesome. Everything's awesome.
The tips were wild tonight. You paid Brian back for that expensive couple weeks, I guarantee it.
Wild.
Thank you guys.
Absolutely wild.
You are so generous, so generous. You guys are awesome with your time too. Thank you for sticking around for 3 hours with us for this stuff. I think Brian will say it, but we love you guys.
We love you, absolutely. Thank you to all the moderators. Why do I keep looking at AJ? He's just distracting.
I'm way more interesting than AJ. I got colors going. I'm doing a dance.
Thank you to all the moderators who not only helped out tonight, making sure the chat was on the up and up, but also every single one of my live streams. Those guys are always behind the scenes making sure that I can do my job without having to worry about any nonsense in the chat. We love all of you moderators. Thank you so much for everything you do. And of course, thank you finally to everybody who hung out, just watched, didn't say a goddamn word. I know you're out there. There's a lot of you. You're all lurkers. I used to be just like you before somebody made me talk a lot. I apologize for all the talking. That's it. Guys, let's go play some Squadrons. Good night.
Yes. Tacos, Squadrons.
Oh, also subscribe to Dave. Subscribe to Dave at Dave Station VR. Subscribe to AJ. Subscribe to AJ at PSVR Underground. My name is Brian Powell from PSVR Without Parole. This was PSVR Gamescast Live, and we're out.
Exactly 3 hours.
Han shot first. Cue the cat. Muted unknown. Silent Evil 999. Thank you guys so much for joining. Danny Deadhack. See y'all on Squadrons tonight. We will see you there, brother. Donatello the Scientist, Game Cat, Dan Keeper, Kid Cat, Andrew C. You Long Shadow. Has been great hanging out with you and love you as well. Nihilist Ryan, the Game Feline. What's up, man? X-Layerful, my dude. Secrets of. Thank you so much, man. No problem, man. Art meets Electronica. That's an interesting name. Braxton B. Be seeing you as well. PSVR Zesty, my friend. Flame Hat, the Flaming Game Cato. It's that bearded Game Cat Sage. Mad love to you as well. Mikey Sensei, Game Cat Extraordinaire in the house.
Pretty sure Brian's in heat right now.
Roy Schwartz, H3, the Spartan Game Cat. I'm going to start yelling over Brian. Steve, IRE, Mac, MLS, Michael Collin, just incredible, my dude, Durant, Ben, VR. Hope you're doing well, man. Martin Harvey just bought Shadow Legend. Just want to remind you that the game was made by only 2 young guys. They are genius. I agree.
2 young fellas. Great chat.
The next game is going to be a cyberpunk game. Also,
Cyberpunk.
Callum Underwood.
Open World. PlayStation 5.
Callum Underwood, one of the developers of Superhot, is trying to recruit some PSVR porters right now. So possible that the next Superhot expansion or whatever might be coming to us at some point.
Actually, I tagged the Superhot devs real quick. They're working on a new game that's coming out soon, or it might have just come out. That is a dungeon crawler.
Do we need to bring the show back? I didn't know we were going to keep doing news stories.
Let's bring the show back.
No.
I just got I got a press email about how the Superhot team is making this dungeon crawler, and if that's what they're going to put in VR.
Interesting.
Watch out, Operencia.
I just want mind control delete, man. Give me mind control delete.
That would be incredible.
Good night, everybody. Love you all.
Good night. See you.